Hey, hardheads! Welcome to another episode of I guess American Horror Stories. We're talking about episode 7, the season finale called Game Over. Before we get started with this video, I just want to make sure everybody liked this video. Subscribe if you're new as well, and let's introduce ourselves before we start talking shit about this episode. Chanise, would you like to go first since you're new? You're the guest, special guest today.
I am Chanise, guys. I don't have YouTube and everything, but I'm just joining. So, hey.
Chanise is a best friend of mine. She's been in my life for a very long time, and she's a huge fan of American Horror Story. She's been in the chat every episode pretty much, and she's here in person today. So, yeah.
Yes, because I was tired of my comments being leaked.
They were delayed.
I had to hop on.
So let me get on that live. All right, who would like to go next?
I am Marco Estes, as you can see in the tag, and I also love American Horror Story, but I love it enough to the point where I can sit there and call out its flaws. So,
oh, that's right.
This is Mike. I'm a fan of most of American Horror Story, and we'll get into it. I'll leave it.
My name's Ryan. I go by Brother Ghoulish as well.
Usually have more to say.
Exactly.
Right.
I'm nervous.
Oh, okay.
Well, let's do.
I gotta save my energy.
Darkwave Duck. Hey, what's up, my guy?
Hey, Omar.
He's here always. He's here all the time, every week as well. And my good friend Evan. Now that I know that this is Evan, been going under a secret name, and he just quote me today just to sound. So, hi, Evan. I don't know, but
not Carmen Sandiego on the
right. Come on, Carmen Sandiego.
Yeah,
oh my dogs. This is Million Star. They're going to be a part of the chat as well. They're in the distance.
Say one. So glad you're here. So glad you're here.
He missed last week.
Oh, he was living it up last week. I can put his business out there though.
He was not thinking about us. He was well, yeah.
I'm in Conita. Hey, everybody's okay. Watch this now. I'm trying to rank these episodes, but they're all last place. Whoa!
We're gonna wing it tonight.
Jeremy says I'm so far behind ASS, so I'm not listening. Just want to stop by and say,
"Oh,
hey, Jeremy."
Well, thanks for coming by. I'm dying. Okay, guys. So real quick, what did you guys think about this last episode of American Horror Stories? Because
let's just get me out the way.
Yeah.
Go ahead, do your thing.
I was pleasantly slain. I was living my utter fantasy. I mean, lay off me, Ryan Murphy. Damn, he did something to me with this episode. All right, now y'all go.
Mike.
Okay, I didn't hate it, but I felt like I was kind of stupid for majority of this because I didn't understand what was happening. It was like a game and a show and a show and a game, and then people were showing up. I still don't even know what the fuck was going on. So honestly, I'm excited to hear what everybody else thought about it.
Where do I begin? I was enjoying it up until the last tail end of the episode. Because like Michael said, I was okay with everything going up to that point. But once they threw in that coda, I was like, what the fuck just happened? What? So is the house still standing? Is it, or did everything happen and she's actually staying in one of the renovated places in the house, or what's going on? Because when the red ball rolled out, I was like, so did my people leave? Like, did my folks go? You know what I'm saying? And I don't know. I was just like, And this was written by Ryan Murphy and Brad Falchuk, who created the show. So I was like, what were y'all trying to get? I mean, what were y'all trying to do?
It's like they doing an MCU multiple timeline universe or something.
Right. I was waiting for the Witches to come in and just go through the little portal like in Avengers Endgame and just show up and be like, we're gonna reset everything again. So, but up until that point, I was okay with it. Taymon, chill out. We're not gonna cancel this show.
Meta. It was very meta. Very, very meta. Sorry, y'all. My shit was acting stupid. What did I miss? I'm sorry. What you were saying, Mark?
No, I was just saying that, like you said, very meta. Like it was certain things that was like, so hold up. I know we. So y'all saying now that American Horror Story is an actual show within the mythology of American Horror Stories. That threw me off, and it was like Ryan Murphy took this swipe at Sarah Paulson, like, so why was she talking bad about Roanoke? I'm like, y'all are really acting the fool right now, and I don't know what to think. I was just like, so when did American Horror Story become a show within the show? Is it gonna pop up next year? You know what I'm saying? Like, or is American Horror Stories separate from? I don't know. I'm eager to hear what Bobby and Chanel had to say. I'm eager what y'all got to say. So.
You want to go first or what?
Shanice, go first.
For me, it did not give what it was supposed to have gave. Okay. Like I said, I am a huge fan of Murder House. And that's the season that I guess looked at late. When I heard that they was coming back, since I was disappointed in the first and second episode, I was very excited. They said we would see familiar faces and everything. Everything was so confusing. When I see Twisty and like, I don't know. Like I think where they were going was good, but it just didn't make it there. Like I don't know. Like the concept of it was good. The whole game within the game, because now I'm confused, because did she really go to this house, or was that the game, or like what happened? Like I need them to explain it to me. And then the ball thing at the end rolled out. So now is she living in the condos? It's over Murder House. So like I was confused.
My whole thing was I feel the same way. All right. So I was enjoying the very beginning of the episode. You got like Miley Cyrus' sister and the other boy. First of all, I thought he was gay, so I was just like, what's going on with that situation? But he wasn't. And then they got really mad at talking about Sarah Paulson and just being in this whole world of American Horror Story. So I said, all right, I'm loving this. And then it was just a video game. All right, cool. I like the whole concept. I love the opening. I think this is one of the better openings, in my opinion. It was a good opening. As far as the whole video game concept. And I was just, when we got to the end, I was just like, what the fuck? What the fuck? Because it was no reason for it to be a video game this whole entire time. I would have been fine if they would just left it as Murder House was burnt down, condominiums were built on top of it, everybody moved on, did their own thing, leave it as that. But now all of a sudden it's a whole video game. And I think Ryan Murphy did that on purpose, because maybe he wants to visit Murder House in a proper way and maybe give it a proper send off by bringing everybody back.
He messed up.
Thank you.
After this, I feel like it's no other. Don't even go back and mess with it, because why?
Right.
Yeah.
He had two turns. He had them first two episodes and then this last one, and that's it.
Yeah.
You might as well forget it, because I thought at the end, like if they was gonna burn it down, I thought like the ghosts were gonna disperse, like in the 13 ghosts, when they kind of just all walked off, like that would have been so dope. But he just I was disappointed.
Yeah,
I was disappointed.
Jim Mouse and my friend said the concept of a Murder House video game is dope. I agree. I was telling you that earlier. I would love to play a Murder House video game,
right?
Especially if it was like VR or something.
Oh my god, that would
love
just
that.
Shit, all types of shit in my house would be destroyed if I had to play this shit in VR. I'm just serious.
This episode seemed like a response to fandom. I think it delivered as much as it could, especially being the finale. Well, they could have done other things.
Mhm.
We didn't have to go back to Murder House. And going back to what Chanise said, I know Ryan, you like side eyeing just because I know you love this episode.
No, it's not.
But-
I'm just waiting because you know I have a long response, so I'm just like,
Oh my god.
Yeah. But I don't know. Like, honestly, it was no, I don't know. It was no reason to come back here. It was no reason to come back to Murder House. And if he was going to do it, I feel like in a proper way. That's why I was excited that the house was being burnt down, because we had no reason to revisit this shit again.
Right.
And before you go, Ryan, with your part, let me just how much Ruby and Scarlet get on my nerves.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
And that's another thing. They made that like the focal point.
Yes, like why are they the topic? Like,
yeah, like I was over them from the first and second one. Nobody didn't ask for them to be in the finale.
Right.
I don't know. They're not my favorite people.
They're not. And I'm glad I'm not the only person who think that. I love the story, but I feel like their whole love story thing is not earned. Can I say, Dark Wave Duck, that I was one of the people who, is it bad that I was hoping when she heard him crying, when she heard Ben crying, I was praying to see some cakes. I was praying that she was going to walk in on him. I was praying and he could cry.
I was thinking to myself, like, dang, why they ain't have him masturbating in the window as usual?
Right.
I'm saying, like, I was like, oh, my shit. They finna revisit the scene. And he was like, I don't cry like this unless I'm messed. I'm like,
this is how I know they were too on the nose with everything. And I was like, all right, something's off, because why would he say that? He was only doing that because he cheated on Vivian on Murder House and he felt guilty. There's no reason for you to be doing that and saying that on this episode. So I feel like they were doing that for fan service to make us
right,
because that was always like a funny thing to everybody.
Right.
I will say that it's kind of, when it comes to fan service, I tend to not like when writers or creative shows do fan service stuff, because it doesn't. Some fan service stuff does not help the story. It's more along the lines of, we don't know what else to do, and we just gonna do this because the fans are looking for it and stuff like this. It's kind of like they don't. It's kind of like a indicator that they don't know how to write themselves out of the box they wrote themselves in. So I don't like fan service a lot, especially when it comes from like top tier creators and stuff like that. Like, we know you're in on we know you read the blogs and all this shit, but keep writing. Just be like, okay, I hear what y'all saying though, but I have a story that I want to tell y'all, and I'm gonna continue telling the story that I want to tell, and not tell the story that you guys wish I would tell.
Right. Scarlett is more likable to me this time around. I still didn't like her. Sorry, Ryan.
I did not like her at all.
I was just gonna say that I did not want to see Ben masturbating no more, because he was so hot to me before all that had happened in the past. Like, just imagine if somebody like busting a nut and then just breaking out in tears. It's like, okay.
I'm here for it.
I'm sure you are.
Oh, see, we're not doing this tonight. We know.
So any other thoughts, Ryan? You said yours was going to be.
Yes,
I want to hear it too.
Okay, so let me stop now. It's actually not that long. It's not that long. I hyped it, but this is what I feel like the episode was, or whatever. I think that from the moment that she went into the house, and all of that being a video game up until like where everything like popped and it turned out not to be what we thought it was. The reason that we're seeing like the murder house of this season and then the murder house from the past married and all these like really cool concepts is Ryan Murphy is actually speaking directly to us, like saying like, I know what you guys want. You know, the formula of pleasing the fans or giving like fan service or whatever the case may be, I could give that to you. However, it's all a game for me, because although I can give you something that you would really automatically like be turned on by because I'm watching numbers, I know the tea, I'm going to give you something to think about. And as a result, it's going to make you think about rewatching this episode maybe, and did I miss something? Or go back and look at a few episodes and see if you missed anything. It's really just a meta reference of how the horror fan, or an extension like the American Horror Story fans, would be fairly easy to please, but he wants to make a message about something different. And even with the ball rolling at the end, and also some of the other things that happened during the episode, it feels like that old saying from back in the day. And I don't remember who did it, but be careful when you stare into the abyss, because you know the abyss also stares back at you. So the woman who's actually like getting this game like programmed and getting all her shit together, she's looking at American Horror Story. So we know that before the game sequence starts, the reason that you see everything folding like that is because she's actually watching American Horror Story. So everything that happened in the game, of course, did not happen. It stemmed from her watching the TV show that we all are watching. She's in our world. And it's a nod to what, you know, I mean, I feel like there's literally no other way to end the show than to kind of threaten that what is happening inside of American Horror Story can actually bleed into our world, represented by the ball rolling at the end and nothing that we've actually have seen like even happening. Especially because like when you think about it, the only thing scary about watching horror is being in horror. Like that's literally the only scarier thing. And that's why immersion horror is like a new thing, like virtual realities or going on haunted hayrides and shit like that. It's like being in horror is way more frightening than watching it. There's a certain wall that needs to be broken. And so that's what it was for me. I know y'all disagree. I see y'all faces. But that,
no.
I actually like it.
Yeah.
No,
okay.
Yeah. That's how I look at it too. Like from this, like she's pretty much us. And, you know, we would. So it's like us. We're seeing it from like, well, she's looking at it from a fan point of view. The only confusing part is, again, I know Ryan was explaining it, but it just the ending, the red ball, and the whole thing I took with the red ball was, well, maybe all that shit really did happen, and she's a ghost. Because when those murder house burned down, the ghost was free to go wherever they want, or they chose to stay. So maybe she went back to her apartment with her son and wanted to finish the video game.
I mean,
and Bo went with them. I don't know.
Why?
But because
probably so.
I thought that, but then she was going to leave the house. So how she going to just live this regular life? Like for me, I feel like
how the fuck Ruby or whatever her name got a cell phone in Texas? She's a ghost.
No.
Well, didn't Scarlett leave Ruby a cell phone at the end of the fucking?
She did, but it's just like, so y'all are able to control electronics and contact the outside world as a ghost. So anything is possible if you can do that.
I mean, well, if they can kill people
within the house,
yeah. So that,
well, maybe it's the same rules apply when you're set free out into the world. You can do whatever. You can live like another person. You can disappear whenever you want to.
I don't know. Like the episode, well, not perfect episode, but it would have made more sense to me if, like, you know, it started off how it did, and it was the video game, and then you know the mom went and you know, tried to prove her point, and she was at murder house, and all of that stuff happened. But at the end, when we found out that it was a game, and her son who actually like finished the game, like, oh, this is the game, and he could have just did, you know, what he thought like would have happened to his mom. He could have just put that in there and stuff like that. He could have maybe took over.
Right.
Her being out of the game kind of confused me, because even though she's looking at it from a fan's point of view, it's like, well, wait, did she really go in the house or not? Like, you know, or did herself going in, so that's why she wrote it in, or
maybe she went in the house and she just didn't die, so maybe that she was able to go back and take those experiences.
I don't know. See, that's what confused me, because did she really go or did she not?
You know what's funny? Sorry, Mark. Go ahead. I have one question.
No. I was saying what I was just reacting to. Darkwave Duck's comment. Go ahead, Ryan.
I just had a question. Like, did y'all also feel like at the beginning, right, when she was trying to figure out like what her son was into, and so as a result, she's binging like American Horror Story, and she's like trying to get all this information. Did it also kind of feel like that's the risk of consuming content that you don't understand? Like, she's not really even a fan of American Horror Story, because like her son was the fan. And he was reading the shit out of her, because he was like, we wanted out of. That's not
Wait, sorry to cut you off, Ryan, really quick, but everything that the son said, I agree with. Because I'm like, well, wait, like I agree with everything he said. But go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, it's cool because I was about to say like him actually like reading her and then like her cutting to like binging it. It's like this is literally the risk of consuming content that you don't even fully grasp or understand at a deeper level. You get the wrong interpretation of it, and that's literally why her first duck of the game, he was like, "This isn't working. You're not vibing with it as an actual horror fan. You have a, I don't know what the word is, but like a distant relationship with it. You're trying to understand it as someone who's not a horror fan,
right?
And so you're fucking
but she's
up.
Also like trying to build this relationship with her son, because if you look at her life, they're divorced, and she's trying to, my son loves this, so let me try to understand it and learn more about it.
Yeah, because she's basically doing it to please him.
Yeah,
right.
He said, you don't have to do this to like please me. Like I want, like your obsessions is getting out of like control. Like you don't have to do all of that.
Well, my thing with all of that is the fact that I actually, if they had started the season all out with her story, her and her son's story, I would have been more engaged in it, because it's something new, and it was a new avenue to go down instead of a retread of Murder House season 1 with the whole Scarlet storyline and the ghost in the house that she falls for. It was very Tate Violet-esque, if you know. So I was actually into, I forgot the character's name, but I was into her story, her son's story, and
okay.
I'm talking about the lady who started, because I know her real name is Mercedes Mason, but I was into her whole storyline. And if they wanted to do a whole nother season with her and her family and stuff like that, that would have made more sense. I was just not feeling Scarlet. Like, it just felt like they was trying to cram in various generations of Murder House occupants in a 40-minute episode, and bringing back Ben, and even doing as much as bringing back Jamie Brewer. And it was just like, I felt like her cameo was wasted, because he even sat there and said, "What the fuck are you doing here? You died on the street." And it was just like, yeah, what are you doing here? Like,
oh, Adelaide, I want to be a pretty girl.
Yeah, I was like, I was so excited I saw the who was going to be in the cast when they released the cast list earlier this week. I'm like, oh, how's she going to factor into it?
And we said that, Mark, we was just like, how she was going to play a part in this, because she died out on the street, and when they used her on there, and the girl even said, and I'm just like that's it.
That's it.
She's wasted. Y'all have to remember though, that part didn't happen though. That was part of the video game. Like that,
right?
And she got it wrong because she's not a fan. Like she fucked it up. Like
right. But what I was saying with that was Jamie Brewer deserves so much better. Y'all brought her back.
Yeah. Okay.
For just that, I could see if she came back as another character, something like that, or just But it was just the whole meta thing, because let's say if it was like, it's a video game, right? So when she came inside the house, she got Ben's likeness down to like a T. And I'm guessing she probably did that based on, hey, Katie. I'm guessing she did it based on like looking up research and stuff like that of who Ben Harmon was and whatnot. But I don't know. I mean, Ryan, you broke it down. I love your take on it. I'm going to put that on record that I love your take on it. And I actually agree with it. It's just I felt like it wasn't executed real well, because they really blurred the line between reality and the mythology of American Horror Story. So let's say if Murder House appears in Red Valley, do we supposed to take everything that happened in American Horror Stories to heart, or was American Horror Stories a full-on video game of some sort? Because again, if they were going to burn down their house, I felt like Ryan Murphy, if this is me as Ryan Murphy, okay, everybody who was the Murder House cast, we're going to actually burn down the house. We're going to get rid of the house. I want everybody to come back that is available. You know what I'm saying? We're going to factor you guys in some capacity. And that way it could clear up a lot of confusion with Apocalypse. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people thought that Apocalypse, everything that happened in the Murder House episode of Apocalypse is still like canon, but it's not, because they reset at the end of Apocalypse. Right. So I was waiting to see Vivian. I was waiting to see Tate. I was waiting to see Violet. Somebody even posted on one of them damn fans Instagram pages that there was a picture of Evan Peters walking around in Tate a costume on the set. And I was kind of pissed off about that because I said, one, you kind of spoiled that surprise. And then two, not only they didn't spoil the surprise, but they got a lot of people hyped up, which probably took away from the enjoyment of the episode to be like, when is Tate and Violet going to show up? You know, I just wanted some closure. So in my opinion, I feel that Murder House is still in the main timeline of American Horror Story. Murder House is still erect. Ain't nothing wrong with it. There's no new condos over it. And I'm gonna feel that way until I see it for myself. Until they be like, okay, no, this American Horror Story is actually happened. Yeah. Which I'm gonna have a whole other problem with, because I'm like, so where happened to all the possessed damn demons that came from drive-in? Like, all the damn pharaohs still running around in national parks? And somebody told me, Omar actually on Dark Wave Duck told me last week that actually took place in America. Some, like, a lot of people they disappear at national parks a lot, you know.
Oh man.
So yeah, but I'm just saying, like, there's a lot of dangling threads in American Horror Stories that if they bleed into the main mothership, I'm going to have some issues with. But
yeah. So, you know, I was thinking, didn't she binge watch the show before she went to the house?
Yeah.
So why didn't she know
who Ben was?
I was so confused when she was like, well, who are you? Didn't she just watch the whole thing?
Wait, no, didn't she? She figured out who he was, I think, because she said something like, "You're oh my god," and then all that stuff, right? Didn't she?
Oh, did she?
I thought it was after the fact, like after she started talking to him.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I feel like he told her.
Figure out when I couldn't figure out when the game was starting and ending.
Right.
So even now, part of me is like, well, what was the game? What wasn't? Was her arguing with her annoying ass father and son a part of the game?
Child.
Bruh. I think that with the game too, because I think her son, and I'm thinking about it, I think her son mentioned something about it being Halloween. Because when she went over there, it was Halloween. Mm-hmm. And then after she was dead, he said only a week went by. You don't get Halloween twice in a year.
They said a year. They said a year.
It was a year.
Oh, it was a year later?
It was a year.
Okay,
right.
So I wasn't paying attention. My bad. Never mind.
But you see how he was like, oh, you should have added like the witches came and gave a potion or something.
Oh yeah.
Like, doing too much. Like, right. No, like leave the witches where they at.
Right. If the game is called Escape from Murder House, keep everything Murder House related. Don't bring in Twisty. Don't bring in Bloody Face.
Yeah.
But again, I think that was a part of her fuck up. You know what I mean? Because she wasn't. To make her son happy. So she obviously didn't know. She probably like, oh well, I heard her Twisty and Bloody Face. Let's just make it a part of this, because she didn't know. So that's why she went back and binged it, and she had to get her information right. So at the end, she's like, oh well, how you like it this time? You know.
And that's what threw me, because with the son. Because at first he was like, you don't get the concept of Murder House, you don't get the concept of, you know, the show, and then he was giving her pointers at the end of the episode, like, well, you should have brought it. You probably could bring in the witches and have them do something. I'm praying as a fan he only said it because the witches, you know, Chablis, behold Chablis and Madison Montgomery visited the Murder House, but at the same time, it's just like, you know, that's probably the only link to the Murder House outside of, you know.
Yeah.
But other than that,
Do you guys think this was a callback to horror video games? Yeah. This remind. Have you guys Stay Alive?
I didn't like that.
I love Stay Alive.
Oh, the movie. I love Stay Alive.
It reminded me of, huh?
You talking about the movie, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I love that movie. Yeah,
I love it. I love the concept. Like, I understand like where they were trying to go with it, but back in the day, in the early 2000s, you only could do but so much. But I enjoy that movie, and the opening to American Horror Story remind me of that, just because how everything looked. And but I wish they would have done, and at least in this, if you like die in the game, you die in real life. That would have been decent.
Yeah, that'd have been a good thing. I like brain scan. I was getting brain scan. I'm proud of. I'm old, y'all. I'm sorry. I was getting brain scan from it. You know what I'm saying? So it was just, you know, you're becoming obsessed with the game. Like I felt like if she had went to the manner of the only way Murder House should have came back would have been if like she got obsessed with just trying to like create this game and it was more longer within the game, but the lines got blurred. I probably need to go ahead and rewatch Stay Alive. I guess I'm one of the. You about to say something, Michael?
No, I was thinking about something Ryan said. Because now I'm trying to look deeper into it. So, like, when they finish the game, like at the end of the episode, and the house is burned down, because her whole thing with her, she's obsessive and she takes it well beyond what she should. So now I'm like wondering if burning the house down was like a metaphor for like her just releasing shit and just being like, I'm good on that. I need to spend time with my son.
That's cute. I like that. That's cute. That's cute. I like that.
Thank you, Ryan. You gave me a little more.
No, that didn't come from me, but thank you. I'll take it.
But no, I will say this.
I like that.
But no, I will say this though, Ryan. You did make sense of, because I'm not gonna lie. I was sitting here watching it earlier today, and I was like, I'm ready to fight. That's how I was. I felt like LeBron James leaving the conference. We grabbed his bag and get ready to leave. I actually jumped up and started cleaning my house because I was so upset. But
I don't know sports. I don't know what reference you're making right now.
I'll send you the meme in a few minutes though. But it was an after thing. I think I've said to you a couple of times. Okay. But no, I like how you broke it down. I just felt like Ryan Murphy and them should have executed a whole lot better, because I felt like he did I think he did a better job with Roanoke. You know the episode in Roanoke when they had all the cast on the stage, and it was very meta. I felt like it made a whole lot of sense, because you kind of realized that, okay, the actors of the show got famous from it and they want to do some more with it. But it's like with this, it was just like, bro, you got 40 minutes and you gotta like tie it up. And I'm thinking like myself, like, yo, this is Hulu. This is streaming. Y'all could have went a full hour and 30 minutes, and I would have been there for all hour and 30 minutes of this damn episode to expand on this thing that y'all trying to do.
Real quick in the middle of that, because I feel like Chanise said something to this effect earlier. It feels like, I don't know, like they could have kept 1 and 2 maybe, and so with that time, maybe they could have put more time into this, like to kind of like give it, like to flesh it out, a little bit more, smooth it out, because something that Emilio said, my fiance, like he basically was like, I feel like personally I'm trying to get his words right, it made 1 and 2 unnecessary, and that's what of this particular season, and that's what for him was kind of like, I don't know, like it just made those 2 episodes completely unnecessary. And I wonder how do y'all feel about that?
I agree.
Yeah, well, I felt 1 and 2 was unnecessary from the beginning. Right. So I mean, it seemed like it didn't need to happen.
Especially because I don't know if you said this already on here, but that whole rubber suit, like, that's in Murder House, it was Tate, right? And then you had Apocalypse where I'm guessing Michael was wearing it.
Right.
Mike?
Yeah. So it's like, what is this suit? Because like, is it supposed to be an entity within itself?
That's what I was thinking.
Or is it, just a suit that makes people evil when they put it on? Or what is this?
But that don't make sense, because Scarlett was wearing this suit too.
But her eyes turned black when she put it on.
Yeah, but you can still tell
which looked good.
True.
Yeah, she had a fit.
So
unless that was the whole entire time, we just didn't see.
No, because then she wouldn't have been able to go out with it. So it's like it was pointless. Like 1 and 2 was just like pointless. Like whatever. Yeah. They could have started off with something different and then maybe had 6 and 7 be game over.
Right.
Or something like that. But I think 2 things with Murder House was just too much. It was too much.
Right.
I agree
with the dads from the first 2 episodes. That's why I thought, why? I mean, I don't care. I mean, Matt Bomer is a good looking dude, but like,
right.
Like, why didn't y'all bring them back?
Let me say, I was upset that I did not see anybody but Ben.
Josh.
Okay.
Right. Me too, Chanise. I was upset that I didn't see anybody but Ben too.
So I call what's her name? I call her my grandma because I want to say grandma.
Which one?
You mean
Jessica Lange.
Constance?
That's my grandmom. I love her. Okay, we
I love her too.
family. And I
And
was
Sarah,
like,
and Sarah Paulson's auntie.
grandmom could have been there. Like those two twins, the little boys, even though they weren't like main characters in the show, they could have had some more familiar faces. And like I said, when the house burned down, they could have just even had a cameo where some of the familiar faces were just
Walking out.
leaving that
Right.
area, to go on and I guess step on over to the other side or whatever. I just feel like the episode could have been done so much better.
Yeah.
Right.
Being still, they made it the finale big, anyways, and then I feel like they hyped it up. Like you said, they show Tate like he was gonna be in it, and he wasn't.
He wasn't. And
No?
I would say this about, like, I agree with everybody said that Murder House, but Rebel Woman was unnecessary. I felt that Ryan Murphy was trying to do the whole, we have a lot of female directors, we're trying to do something, give a female a feminine gaze with the Rebel Woman episodes and stuff like that. And I'm like, okay, that's cool and all. I see that, but at the same time, like what you said, Chanise, about like letting the last two episodes be Murder House related, like start off with something fresh and new.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then be like, you know what, y'all stay with us this long, we're gonna give y'all something from the old school. Like, here's a Murder House story.
Right.
And you know what, not only is it a story, but we're gonna burn the house down. We're gonna finish the Murder House story for all time. And that way you could have got Connie Britton. What's my baby daddy name? I'm a little tipsy right now. What's his name? Help me out here. Ben Harmon. Yeah. What's his name? Dylan McDermott.
I got
Evan Peters. Thank you, baby. Dylan McDermott, Taser, Farmiga. Just bring back everybody.
Evan Peters.
And just have a big old send off. And just be like,
I think Ryan Murphy, I think that was his plan. I think that's why maybe he turned this into like a video game concept, because I think he probably want to give Murder House a proper send off. And in order to bring everybody back, I guess he want to make that special.
Well, that'll be fine.
I would want to.
He could have even just kept Murder House out of these stories altogether, because none of the other episodes thing to do with none of the other seasons. So now it's like, all right, is American Horror Stories a part of the American Horror Story or what? Like, what is it?
Thank you.
He could have just put Murder House out of it altogether.
Thank you.
I think American Horror Stories, look with the rest of it or whatever, I think it is part of it now because of what just happened. Because I think by her binging it and seeing Scarlett and Ruby's character enough to put them into the video game is proof of concept that she witnessed it watching the shows.
And when she did binge, I ain't trying to cut you off, Ryan, but when she did binge, you did see the graphic for American Horror Stories in the bottom left corner.
So, you know what? I didn't even see that.
I didn't.
Yeah, because I was like, damn, this is so meta. Like, they got Rubber Woman right there. So that's why I was somewhat confused, because I'm like, okay, so did what happened in Rubber Woman 1 and 2 is actually canon, or is it part of the episode? You know what I'm saying? So,
Bobby, would you like to play that game? I would love to play this.
That should be a Dead by Daylight. Can you imagine us running through Dead by Daylight in the Murder House? Oh my god!
I would love that. I would love that. I would love that.
Yeah, that would be dope. You see the Infantada, you see the Rubber Man.
They have all of them trying to attack your ass. Like,
the Piggy. What's his name? Pig. I can't think of his name.
Is it Piggy Man?
Yeah.
All right, so maybe y'all would know, but I don't think he died in the house, because remember in American Horror Story, the guy was like, he got killed in his apartment by the pig dude. So why is he
so iconic? Because she fucked
Why
up.
was he even there?
Yeah, like why was he there? Like, I knew he was like a part of that season, but
he was only a part of that man's fears. He
had
nothing to do with
and then that was
it. Because he actually got shot. He actually got shot to death. You know what I'm saying? So
didn't they just have the pig costume on or something like that?
Right.
Like,
so maybe with y'all bringing it up, I'm glad y'all brought it up. Maybe Rubber Woman was actually a video game. And this was the reveal that this was a whole video game the whole entire time.
I don't think so.
I don't know.
You don't think so?
I only have one reason why. I don't really. It doesn't go deeper than this. So because you caught that graphic, like as she's starting to binge, it makes me think that anything that we've witnessed up until this point has been a part of that graphic or whatever. Like she watched American Horror Stories as a part of binging before she did this game where she fucked up so many times. Like everything you and I have watched as like American Horror Story fans, she's watched. So she's in our world, and like the ball at the end coming up is just like I said, like it's like you're staring into the abyss. Like it's like a threat, like their world is coming into ours. But she's in our world versus being in American Horror Story. That's what I think is happening.
Yeah.
Well,
I ain't gonna lie, y'all. I was happy to see Twisty because
yes, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah,
he's scary as hell.
With Freak Show, I felt like he was the horror. You know, and they took him out so soon.
Yeah.
So I was so mad when they took him out because I love a killer clown.
Mm-hmm.
So like they should have kept him. So I was so happy when I seen him, even though he didn't fit. But you know.
I'm so glad that I'm not the only person who actually felt that Twisty. I'll be honest with y'all. I would probably when I go back and rewatch certain episodes of American Horror Story, I'll probably make it to like the 5th episode of Freak Show. Yeah. And then I kind of tune out because Twisty was everything. That was such a missed opportunity.
Yeah.
I mean,
go ahead.
I love him.
I feel like he could have been a muscle, you know, like he could have been a part of the Freak Show, and he could have been like, you know, oh well, you know, I'm gonna get Twisty on you if you don't, you know, like I don't know. They could have got him in there somewhere, and they just took it out.
Yeah.
That was my least favorite.
I think they feel guilty by doing it. That's why they keep bringing him back. Like they were like that kid's remember he was in the comic book on Cult.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
And I think they feel guilty and they didn't use him enough because they keep bringing him back because now he's in American Horror Stories.
Mm-hmm.
They messing up. Honestly, I ain't even gonna hold y'all. I don't think this American Horror Story is Ryan
Fortress.
You said what?
I don't think that American Horror Stories is for them. Yeah. Like it's too short. And I noticed on like a lot of their seasons, kind of after like maybe like the 3rd season, they start off so strong, but then they just kind of go downhill. So for them, one episode is just not for them. Like y'all gotta get strong.
Yeah.
So they just try to stuff so much. Like for instance,
they got a season 2.
They'll start off strong. It'll get really weak, and then they'll just throw all of this stuff into the finale, and it's like, wait, what?
Right?
No, like it's. So I don't think they deserve different, you know, episodes every time.
I know they're renewed for a season 2, so all I know is they better come hard next season for this.
Bro, what you said
when they announced that, I know you were a happy, Mark, because there is opportunity for improvement.
Right.
But I don't think that they listen to us as fans as much because if they did, they would have picked American Horror Story a long time ago. You know what I mean? I feel like they only listen to us when, we want the witches back from Coven, and it took Ryan Murphy like 5 seasons to get to Apocalypse in order for us to go to get Coven witches to make us happy. He did it out of fan service because we wanted it.
Exactly. Now I'm a big opponent. I love Apocalypse, but I was more looking forward to their damn proposed spinoff about the witches. You know, I was waiting for a whole damn spinoff. Like, give me more.
Yeah,
I want more of the Madam. Is it Madam Robichaux's School for Girls?
Oh,
then they introduced the damn School for Guys. I'm like, y'all got a whole witch school for dudes, and you got Billy Porter teaching.
They would have been so good if they just like combined them to, you know, like did something with them too, you know?
Yeah. That's why if they do another Coven, I need to see the male witches because, like, no disregarding, you know, Misty and Zoe and all of them. I would love to see them back. But now that y'all introduced us to the Warlocks, you need to give us like more of them.
Especially Shaw.
They were. That's why
exactly.
We need season, and they could have had all of them. It would have been so decent.
That needs to be Billy Porter's next starring role is as Behold Chabliss in like an American Horror Story, Warlocks or whatever or something like that, because when they gave us that, I was like, I'm here for it. Like, this is the Harry Potter that I actually wanted. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody, that entire panel was queer as fuck. You had BD Wong, who was queer. Then you have Cheyenne Jackson, who was queer. And then you had Billy Porter. I'm like,
they were so good.
Yeah, they were great.
It was like, I loved it. Like it really gave what it was supposed to.
Right.
Do you think their idea for American Horror Stories, they probably would have maybe played with the witches and stuff in American Horror Stories if it wasn't for COVID? Because obviously Coven took place more in New Orleans, so they can't really travel because of COVID. That's why they stay strictly in LA. I mean, they could have did something with Coven in LA, but limitations, restrictions because of COVID. So maybe they had other ideas for us playing with that, but they just couldn't get it. So we got,
I don't know, I just feel like some of them are meant to just be one episode though.
Yeah.
And since this is supposed to be like that, then they shouldn't give a fan favorite like Coven one episode, because then it's like, how they gonna fit all that in there?
Yeah.
Because then you're gonna want to see the Warlocks, you're gonna want to see so many different people.
Yeah.
Cosign.
I mean,
cosign.
Could have introduced someone like experiencing her powers early on, and then if we ended up bringing her into the main show, if they redo Coven, or another season of Coven,
right?
Yeah,
I think that American Horror Stories, and y'all probably said it already tonight, but I think American Horror Stories should have been like one-off scary stories.
I would have lived.
I haven't seen. I haven't seen 2 sentence horror stories yet, but I feel like a lot of people have gravitated toward those.
Yeah,
as an anthology, and I feel like that's their competition. Come up with some shit that is not tied to the main mothership.
But our prediction was we thought like American Horror Stories was going to tie into American Horror Story, but in a clever way, tie up the loose ends of what we didn't understand in other seasons.
An episode with like, when Evan Peters was at the end on Asylum with the whole alien thing, like they could have tied that up. Like they could have just did things, did things that we was like, wait, what? Because everybody like, got him. He done went up like, what's going on?
He left 2 kids that's half alien, half human.
So they could have played around with that, or I think that they could have did it like an urban legend type of thing,
right?
Yes,
where it was kind of like, the first episode kind of gave us like a group of friends telling scary stories,
right?
And the episodes could have been those stories, and then it could have ended off in like
Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Like a good way. Like it could have been something like that.
Yeah, I would love that.
That's what it should have been. Especially, I think the only story that came close to that was Feral, because, like I said, Darkwave Duck mentioned to me.
Child, no, she can stay out.
What? Really?
You know what? I like the but I just feel like she's typecast and almost all.
Oh,
that's true.
Okay.
1984. 1984. That's why when me and you was talking about 1984, I felt like that whole thing was fake. I felt like she was like Madison Montgomery play because she was an actress, Madison. Yeah. So I felt like 1984 was like a whole 80s like movie that they were doing. I thought she was playing a character because I'm so used to her being a bitch. I'm like, this can't be really her. This is not her. I kept saying that I was wrong, but like I said, I don't buy her being so innocent. Like I can't.
Yeah.
It's because of Jill, the whole Jill thing where in Scream 4 she was innocent, and then you find out at the end because that's really
great job because she played Madison so well, and then we got
Scream Queens.
And I'm just like, okay, I see her so much in that.
She's just not a diverse actor. I don't think so. Look, because you have people like Gabrielle Union who kind of play a bitch and everything. So that's just what you see her as. Like she's not a diverse actor. Yeah. So maybe Emma Roberts just can't do it.
Yeah, I see her some stuff, and I'm like, girl, no.
Was Gabrielle Union a bitch in Being Mary Jane though?
Yeah, she was.
Was she? Okay, I never saw the show. I never saw the show. I was asking. Okay,
I did like the show, but I could be biased because I do not like Gabrielle. Not like her. She just seemed like such a bitch to me, and I can't get that out of my head. So,
I thought her
Is it because
character
of
was
Bring
like
It On?
very multi-layered. She had bitchiness. She had loyalty.
yes,
Yeah.
no, every movie I see her in, she a bit like I've never seen her been like a vulnerable actress where she just was
Hey,
like, I don't know.
Yeah.
she got a point. Shanice has a point there because Deliver Us from Eva, then 10 Things I Hate About You, she was kind of a bitch in there. And I would say Get It On. Bring It On.
Bring It On.
Yeah,
Yes.
Bring It On.
And then she can play that game. She knew that was Vivica Man. Like, it's just too
Oh,
much.
see.
Y'all not to do Gabrielle like this.
Yeah, Emma Roberts had that effect. It's
I
just
think
like
that's her. Yeah,
they play that role so well that you can't see it on any other thing. And then when they try, you don't believe it. You just like, I'm not buying it.
I mean, I found a lot of flaws in 1984, so I ain't even going to sit here and.
That's like what's her name from Freddy vs. Jason. I didn't buy that the main woman because she's the bitch from Dawson's Creek.
Monica Keena. Yes,
she's a horrible actress though. I never liked her.
Yes. I'm so glad you mentioned it. I'm so glad you mentioned that, Michael. That's gonna pop up in my next episode of my podcast because I said that she's not a final girl. She was just there.
Kelly.
Damn, you took the
Kelly
from her.
No, Kelly saved her. Kelly sacrificed herself in order for her to survive. Because if it wasn't for Kelly, they would have been dead.
True.
Right.
But now she's calling Freddie all types of F words and stuff like that. So it's Kelly Rowland.
Exactly, Bobby. I agree with you 100%. Once Kelly Rowland died, it became the bout. It was like round 3 of Freddy versus Jason, and Lori and Will were just on the side. I didn't see them no more. I didn't even care about them no more. They were on the sideline after all this shit that went down. It was just Freddy and Jason
duking it out.
Right. Kia was the last she was the final girl. She got killed. Lori and Will were just over here just like they were referees pretty much.
And
they were about to leave Kia any damn way.
Right.
No, I would have been out. Where's that van?
They could have been right. They stayed for the whole fight. Like, damn.
I started cracking up on the part when like Will was trying to get her to go and she had to gasoline. He's like, no, come on. She's like, no, I'm staying. And I'm like,
so Kelly Rowland died for no reason.
No reason. But no, I agree. I feel hey Sean, what's up? But I feel that Ryan again, like I said in previous episodes here, that Ryan Murphy needs to get more people in the writers' room of this show. And Bobby, I want you to hashtag Ryan Murphy on here and Brad Falchuk so they can sit.
I tell him that all the time.
Then see, you have 2 Bible writers, me and Ryan. Me and Ryan, because they listen to what we're saying. They listen to what we're saying. They do because all this shit that he put in this episode proved that he pays attention to what we say.
I love it.
He also did that with Hotel because I remember he did an interview after Hotel came out and he was like, well, a lot of people felt that this season was too serious. This season was too light. And then this season was too dark. And so I was trying to go with Hotel. And I kind of took from the interview, like, you are really paying attention to what the fans are saying. And you're trying to appease them. And, I'm like Shonda Rhimes. And to an extent, I found out everything that he did because it disappointed me, Joss Whedon. But, we're not going to talk about him. But Shonda Rhimes told people when she wrote Grey's Anatomy and Scandal, I'm not trying to write what y'all want to know, but what y'all want to feel. I'm trying to write what y'all need to feel. This is my story.
I loved it. I love that you said that, Mark. And let me piggyback on that because you know who else operated like that? Octavia E. Butler. I found out
exactly.
He operates the exact same way.
Exactly. So. And when writers sit there and they sit there and they're very focused on the story that they themselves are trying to tell. I have the utmost respect for them. Because they're not letting fan service dictate how they tell a story. And this is why Grey's Anatomy has been on for 17 years now. Mm-hmm. Because
this is her show. I can't. It's too late for me.
Shanice, I sat there. I'm gonna tell you the truth, Shanice. When they did the whole hospital shoot up, when that guy came in and was shooting up everybody in the hospital, Ask my mother. That night, that was the night I sat there and said, I said, Grey's Anatomy is not going to sit there and take any more tears out of my goddamn soul.
Let me tell you, that show, I promise you, I've cried like I know these people. Okay. But I think what messed me up is because I work in a hospital. So seeing a lot of stuff like in the OR, and I'm like, oh, they for fake. Like, it kind of messed it up for me because so many things that they do with this show is like, oh, that can't happen.
Right.
But it was like that show really like hit home, and I think that's what Ryan got to get there. Like, he got to touch. I mean, even though it's like horror, you know, like how can you really touch people? But
people in a lot of ways in horror. It's just the right way of doing it. Like, I feel like he did it great with Murder House.
Yeah, he did.
He did it great with Asylum. Like, he went from Asylum. He went from us hating Sister Jutes to us rooting for her.
Yes,
all right, he did.
You know
he did.
I mean?
You're right.
So, but then I feel like I understand he's trying to make fans happy, but also and also know that he's listening to us.
Right.
But at the same time, it's just like, are you really hearing us though? Because we always get upset how the show always decline at the end, and it's been a constant thing every season.
Right. So they don't even have to put specific stuff that fans are talking about, but just kind of like, you know, get the level up there. Even with like taking like certain like horror things out, like when he took Twisty out, and I think for 1984, Ramirez should have been the horror. He was like, you know, after seeing his documentary and stuff and all the stuff, he was the horror. Mr. Jingles, you know, they made him like that scary person, but then took him out, you know, and then made him a softie. Like, oh yeah, I didn't really do that, or I didn't mean that, or whatever the case.
Sean was in 1984.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He was in it. He got killed.
Oh, by Jingles. I think it's because, and that would have hit home with a lot of people because he was actually a really scary guy in real life.
Yeah.
Right.
So that could have been something that like hit a lot of people. Like, I just think that they kind of turn left on stuff.
Yeah.
And I agree with y'all. I'm an American Horror Story apologist. I was talking to somebody about this on Instagram earlier about me being a Fred head apologist though, but I have to stop like defending because it does go downhill towards the end. I felt that Ryan Murphy with 1984 was trying to do a horror 80s horror trilogy, kind of like the Slumber Party Massacre.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's just like I felt that he should have did the whole episode until when like it was the battle between Madison, Jesus Christ, but whatever her name was, and wait a minute, wasn't
1984 Emma character?
Yeah, Emma. I forgot her character name, but wasn't Billy Lore's character Madison in it show? No, what Montana? I think Montana. The battle between Montana and whatever Emma Roberts' character name, that should have been the end. And then they should have did like the denouement of the last two episodes of 1984 because all that filler in between was unnecessary.
Yeah.
And just that would have been a compact season if y'all want to keep it short.
I don't like how they didn't keep it in 1984. They should have kept it in the 80s.
No,
right.
My biggest gripe with 1984 was remember shit that happened and you got upset because all of that happened in the course of one night. But all those episodes made it seem like it was like at least 2 days that went by. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I'm like, all this happened in one day, and then they went to like the 90s.
Yeah, like then they went to the 90s, and then they went to like, you know, the thousands or whatever. Yeah. If it was going to be 1984, they should have kept it in the 80s, you know. And like you said, they could have, you know, had their fight, and then, you know, I
feel like 84 was just for fun. I feel like, oh well, we don't have any other cool ideas, so here you go, have some fun with this.
But they could have did so much. They could have did so much with it. It was a slasher movie in the 80s. Like that was the thing. You know, they could have took from so many different things and put it. But,
right.
Sometimes I think this is an American thing we do. We
want
to see more and more and more. We don't really know when to end a story. Whereas in like Britain, for example, even though a show is good and people love it, they're like, well, this is what the story is and this is where it's going to end at. And if y'all don't like it, that's too bad. we just want what we want when we want it.
I will say this though, Ryan Murphy and his crew behind American Crime Story. I felt that The People versus O.J. Simpson was the best shit he's ever written, or
That was really good.
It was a good show.
That was good.
Because it had an ending, and they knew they couldn't fuck it up. But I was riveted for all episodes of this season.
Yeah.
I didn't finish Versace.
I would say, even though OJ was great, I don't know. Versace.
Was Versace better?
I haven't seen.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know. Like, in my opinion, it goes like neck and neck, because
I
would say the performances were better in OJ, but I feel like the overall story, Versace's was better.
Okay. I'm gonna try to finish that up, because I cannot wait for impeachment. Because if Sarah Paulson doesn't get an Emmy, because when they showed the trailer for impeachment and they showed Sarah Paulson, I did not recognize her ass. I mean, I knew she was gonna play Linda Tripp, but I didn't know how far she went to become that character.
You love Pose.
And I'm gonna tell y'all something about Pose. When Pose came out, I knew Ryan Murphy was an executive producer, but I always looked at it as Stephen Canals' show. Ryan Murphy's name is just on it.
Yeah.
I don't, people keep giving Ryan Murphy props for that, but that's Steve Canals' show. And
I think Steve Canals is actually making that known. Like, if you follow Twitter and stuff like that, he give props to Ryan Murphy, but he always say, like, thank you, Ryan Murphy, for letting me direct this episode or tell our story. And Ryan Murphy, even Sean said it. He said when he went to Billy Porter, he wanted Billy Porter to tell, well, like, how would Patel handle this? How would you tell this story from this? Story? So I feel like Ryan Murphy, he can't tell a story that he don't know nothing about. He don't know nothing about being black. He don't know nothing about being trans. You know, so you have to let those people tell their story. So, because if he was telling our story and trans stories and stuff like that, I think it wouldn't come off as authentic.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's impossible for it to.
Yeah. This is kind of like
telling our stories. Like, it's time that we tell our own stories.
Right. And this is why I kind of have an issue with, like, a lot of people trying to tell, I don't know if I was talking to y'all or if I was talking to him, but I was saying that I really like when black people, like when black women I listen to black women when they tell their stories. I don't want to see a black man tell a black woman's story. I want to hear what black women tell their stories, because I feel like it's more authentic. And you can have somebody talking to you all day long, though, but when you can get a black woman tell a black woman's story. And I feel the same way with, like, other queer stories and stuff like that. Like, let a black queer person tell their story. Let a black trans person tell their story. You know, let it just. There's so much, and I'm gonna delve deep into horror. This is what somebody was saying yesterday about. They were saying that I think we was in the clubhouse, and they said let certain people tell their stories, and not have somebody be like the conduit or the what's the other word they use for that? Like the connective tissue to tell the story. If you have a platform, step down from their platform and let somebody come up and use their platform to tell their stories. And I feel like American Horror Stories could have been a very big way for Brian Murphy to be like, you know, I'm gonna use American Horror Stories to let there be a way to tell, like, a black horror story, a black trans story, a black woman's horror story, you know, something like that, or an Asian horror story, you know, something like that. That's what that should have been.
Like, I see more diversity as far as his cast. Like, we had some black characters in some episodes. We had a non-binary type character in one of the episodes. I see a little bit more diversity. It just we don't know too much behind the scenes as far as in the writers' room.
Behind the scenes
stuff. I'm hoping next season will be better, only because hopefully COVID. I mean, things are better. You know, so maybe he have more opportunities, more people are available, he can reach people more, and, you know, it's just much more opportunity to go about.
Now listen, I'm bringing this rubber woman suit thing up, right?
No, it's fine. Bring it up. The
show is on in the background right now. And did y'all peep that the rubber man was, like, burning in the house?
Right.
What is it, Scarlett, the one who had the suit on?
Yeah, that's Scarlet.
Right.
She had the suit on, but rubber band was burning in the house.
Outside of the house, looking at it burn, but you seen the guy in the house with the rubber suit burning.
Right.
So
Yeah.
what does that mean? Is she still going to have that suit?
There's two suits.
Like, why is? I mean,
That's a good question.
From that house.
Yeah.
So, but now it's like burning up in the house. So, what does that mean?
Yeah.
And then Ruby came back with the damn suit on.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, when she was in it.
And I was like, "What the fuck? This suit is indestructible. Can we get this? Can we get a mass production of these motherfuckers for like COVID and shit? Like, I mean, damn.
Well, Murder House is making them. They just passing them out to everybody. So let's visit.
But that's what I'm saying. It's supposed to just be like one suit.
Well,
I just think overall they should have kept Murder House out of the stories.
Yeah,
I would have been happy if they did that. And if they was going to tie Murder House up, they should have done it, like on its own, with something or.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you all this question: what would y'all like to see in next season of American Horror Stories?
More diverse stories.
Yeah.
What do you say, Michael?
I said werewolves. Sorry, what
werewolves. Well, you know all about that.
Can we? I'm gonna mix it up. Can we have black werewolves, like a gang of black werewolves? Yeah. I always wanted to see. I don't want to say like a black version, but I always want to see like a black version of the Lost Boys or like Black Werewolves, where it's just like a group of black werewolves in a clique and they just sitting there doing their damn thing. I always wanted to see something like that.
You know what?
Good. You know what? Take that from American Horror Stories. Let's get a movie done by
that. Before you said that, I was about to say especially American Horror Stories. Let's actually make that into an actual movie. Or a TV show, or like an actual TV show.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't want them touching it. I don't want American Horror Stories to touch it because they're gonna mess it
up. But I would love to see aliens. Like, it's so many different things that they could do.
Double feature.
Well, let's pray that they don't mess this up. They had a long time to do this.
Yeah.
But as far as the stories, I would really like to see something like the whole urban legend thing.
Yeah.
And it could very much be a diverse group of friends, they can have like a lot of different things, and they can even be telling stories like, oh, this is what I heard in my family, like the scary story, or this is what like, I don't know, they can play with it like that, and they can have a lot of different things. They can have the werewolves, they can have vampires, they can have aliens,
original stories,
because everybody got a little story. Like, how many people got UFO stories?
Right.
Like, how many people?
And there's a lot of stuff that's not even supernatural based.
Exactly.
American horrors that have taken place in this country.
Yes,
right.
Stories that they can pull from.
Y'all remember that era in A Coven when Marie Laveau I think they had a killing of a child, and when she kind of like did her little thing to try to get back at the cops for that.
Yeah.
Expound upon on stuff like that. Tanana Ravdu and Stephen Barnes, Brandon Massey, Octavia Butler, adapt their shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, make this shit. Again, use the platform that you have to advance the stories of black and
a lot of those people you name, especially Tanana Reeve, do like they're doing horror noir, so they're getting opportunities.
They are. So. I just felt, but we talked about how I wanted horror noir to be a television show, but we kind of found out that
I found out it was a movie because of you. I thought it was a TV show this whole time, but then you said it was going to be a movie. I was just like, oh, fuck. I mean, I'm happy for it. Like,
I'm happy for it too, right?
But like, a TV show would have been dope. But maybe it'll have that creep show effect. It'll be a cool movie, and then if it does well, we'll get a TV show.
I feel like what I would like to see from the next American Horror Stories, I wouldn't mind if some of the ideas you guys talked about in the beginning, they play with that, like taking it as an opportunity to dive into some of the holes like that have just been left out. That was a really cogent point, and I would love to see that. Because like there are so many characters that we really fuck with, and there's so many like things that we haven't seen explored. Like when you talked about like Tate and the aliens and stuff, that was actually one of my favorite things that didn't get visited thoroughly. And so I wonder if not Tate, I don't know why I said Tate. Evan Peters in the aliens at the end of the Asylum. I think that will really be dope. Like just to see them fill some of those holes.
And sorry to cut you off, but a Murder House has so many different like stories within the house.
Yeah.
You know, like they had so many different killings and all this stuff. They could have even reached out to some of that, like, you know, just did somebody's one story.
Yeah.
Sure. I mean, that would be dope. Like, I mean, all the ideas y'all have though is really cool. Like, even how Mark was saying earlier, how it could be an opportunity to expand on more like other voices and stuff and give the stage to someone else. That's dope. I like that. I don't remember which one of y'all said this. The idea of it being kind of like, you were comparing it to like that show from when we were kids.
Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Yeah, thank you. Where like stories are being submitted, and like I think that's also cool. And I think that's where Bobby's point from the beginning of this all kind of comes together, which is in order for this to happen, Ryan has to bring more folks into the writers' room.
Right.
Like that's what it feels like. That's what we're all asking for, because no matter what seasons we fuck with, or the ones that are kind of like for us, the one commonality that we do have is that we agree that the long version seasons, they do pitch at the end. There's something where he's dropping it, and I don't know why.
Yeah.
Right. And I
Duck
feel
say, I have a question. How long you think AHS can last? Is it out of steam?
It's
not
yet.
long. It's not
I don't
yet,
think
but
so either.
Yeah.
I think there's so much that they can do with the franchise. But just like Ryan just said, bring more people into the writers' room, because their writers' room, I know they have Jennifer Lynch in there, and she is, I think that's the daughter of David Lynch, and she wrote some of the ancillary stuff to Twin Peaks and everything. But expand upon that. You can put as many people on the screen and say we're diverse, but bring in more diverse people behind the screens. Bring in a lot of diverse people within the writers' room, in the production part of it. Like, hell, get Janet Mock and other people to come in behind the scenes and write a couple of things for American Horror Story. You know what I'm saying? Have a whole American Horror Stories episode surrounding around like maybe the murdering of trans women. I'm not trying to sit there and say that we're gonna just hijack your shit, but if you're trying to be like more diverse in the horror aspect of your franchises, bring in more people, because behind the scenes, and not just in front of the camera, but behind the scenes as well.
Yeah,
I want to see Viola Davis. I'm sorry, I love Viola Davis, but she.
No, I love it
too.
I wouldn't be able to see her in American Horror Story.
They gotta pay her top dollar.
Yeah.
Viola Davis.
Do you think that she would take the role of Jessica Lange? Like she would be like the next, like
she can't take my grandma, okay? But okay,
I would love it.
I like
Angela Bassett kind of did that. You think about it.
Well, we thought about
she was such a strong character.
Her and Kathy Bates, when they brought them three together on Coven, I was like, oh shit. But then Jessica Lange dropped out. Then we had Kathy Bates and Angela Bassett, two legends. But then I don't know. I still think Jessica Lange is.
She is top notch to me.
Yeah.
But they could have even had Marie Laveau was her name. They could have even had an episode for Marie Laveau. You know,
listen.
They could have even did that.
Because they played with it in Apocalypse, because not Marie Laveau, but they played with the whole voodoo priestess thing with the lady from I forgot her name, Adina Porter.
Right.
That's the one. I killed that.
She know how to do a great impression of it. But they could have played with like that whole storyline, and you know.
But I think that this season coming up is going to make or break it for me, because they had a long time to play with it.
A whole year.
Now they, you know, I really feel like they putting a little too much on their plates with having the double feature, because like I said, they don't even do too good with it one.
Yeah, one feature.
So
one feature,
you know, it seems really interesting. Like the trailer and everything's really good. So I'm really interested in seeing what it is. But if this one pops, then I'm gonna kind of be done with it, because it's like, you know, y'all got to do something, and even if you don't listen to the fans to give the specific things that we want, and you know, add the more writers or diverse characters, or you know, just give us a stronger ending. Better, because I feel like I heard so many people say, well, you know, the first couple episodes were good, and then it just, you know, it fell off. I hear a lot of people saying.
I hear so many people say, like, I stopped watching American Horror Story after like episode 4 or 5. Like, I don't know what's going on anymore. Like, a lot of people give up, and some people stopped at the first season. They didn't,
or
they
make
didn't
it hit home. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
well, they did that with Cole, and that shit hit. Home with
and a lot of people shit on Colt. And I tell people, to me, Colt was the scariest season because it was one line the entire season that scared the fuck out of me because it really hit home. And that's when the woman was getting ready to be killed, and she said, and you know, Evan Peters' character was like, we're gonna make it seem like you had a suicide. And she was like, nobody's gonna believe that. And he said, of course they'll believe it. It's on Facebook. Mm-hmm. And that wrong, that's scary. And I think after that's real life. And I got off Facebook after that because that's the problem with Facebook is that people believe anything people put on Facebook. Mm-hmm. And I feel like a lot of people should have this season because it was too close to home, and it kind of showed.
It's not that it was a bad season. It's just that I think it was too soon, like the front thing, and then you know, just the racism, and then the whole coast. It was just a lot going on, and a lot. I noticed a lot of people they found one of the scenes very not so tasteful when they were torturing that guy with the nail gun. That scene went on for too long, and I mean, yes, American Horror Story. That's what we wanted to see, but that shit did go on for a while. I'm like, all right, I don't want to keep seeing this dude getting nails in his damn head. Like that was a lot.
Yes,
and then you got to think about the viewers though with Cole. So you got to see what. I mean, you know, some people just don't feel the same way that we feel about.
The
whole. Well, I mean, that's the thing. People don't want. They don't want. Basically, they don't want a mirror held up to themselves.
Exactly.
Right. Okay. You're right. That's you said that perfectly.
To take it back to Grey's Anatomy, I lost a friend because the night they did the episode where Bailey had to talk to her son about police brutality and stuff like that. So many people on Facebook were like, "I can't believe they're making policemen be horrible." Right. And I'm like, baby, this is the damn reality that we have to face. Right. And I think this is around the same time that Cult came out. So both of those shows and Scandal, when Scandal had that whole episode where Olivia was out there with what's his name from Angela Bassett's husband. I can't think of his name right now.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. When he sat there and did the whole thing where he had the chair over his son's body and stuff. People were not, they couldn't swallow that. And I felt that was when television as a whole began to be like, it revealed who your peeps were. Right. It revealed who those in your life were full of shit and those who were down for the cause.
Right. That's it hits home for people, you know, like some in a way where it's like, yes, that's us. And then it's like, oh yeah, that's us. So it's like, you know, so it's like, it hit home to a way where it's like, oh, they coming at us. And then for, you know, people like us, it's like, yes, we just telling our story, you know?
Right.
So I guess it just depends on who you are. And that's why I think Cult wasn't that.
That's don't get me wrong. That's going on Big Brother right now, but we don't.
And Watch This Now has a great point. They got a great point with this comment. I feel that the Twilight Zone, the Jordan Peele's produced Twilight Zone, did not resonate with a lot of people. It's because he was hitting with like storylines that were hitting close to home, and a lot of people don't like.
I think you're right about that. Well, you talking about it not actually like doing well, or?
But the reason it got canceled because a lot of people were saying like good because when they announced the cancellation of the Twilight Zone. There was so many people in my comments when I was sitting there like voicing my anger at that. They were like, well, good, because it was sucked. I said it sucked because it wasn't sitting around a white cisgender man.
Yeah, that's true. And I also feel like that is true. But I also feel like it was on the wrong network. Like I feel like a lot of people didn't have CBS All Access. They're not paying for another streaming service. So a lot of people, I didn't watch the first season until the second season came out and I had a free trial. So I was like, oh, let me go catch up on these. Because I wasn't paying for another streaming service. But you're right about that too, Mark, because people that did have that and did watch it, they were complaining about that.
And that's why they bitched about Star Trek Discovery and stuff like that, because it has a black lead and they don't know how to handle that. And then it has a gay storyline. They don't know how to handle that. But rewind from Twilight. I know we talking about American Horror Story, but rewind from Twilight Zone season 1. That shit was epic. It was right on time, and a lot of people did not know how to swallow that. That was a pill that the motherfuckers couldn't swallow.
Another one was Not All Men. I was on Facebook at the time, and you just have men going off in the comments because they did not like how we are portrayed or being portrayed when it's really a reality when you think about it. But they were tight about that whole story.
And now that you say that, I was saying this. I forgot who I was talking to earlier about this, but I think it was y'all about Candyman when that comes out, because that clip I sent you, I'm gonna send it to you too. It was a 20-minute like conversation, and I'm nervous because I know a lot of white people is going to be upset because how far they're digging in with this new Candyman.
Yes,
it's real life. You know what I mean? They put in our real life situations into this horror movie, and a lot of people is already upset about it. Like, oh well, like I don't want to think when it comes to stuff like that. I want to see like gore and guts and slasher and stuff like that. They don't want to see real life situations in the horror film.
Did people watch the first Candyman because the man was killed because like the whole situation is like so that just goes to show that people just kind of hop on the bandwagon and it just kind of go over some people's heads, because that's the first thing that I noticed, and I'm like, on all of this over, you know what I mean? Like, so I don't think that people catch certain stuff, you know, and they're not looking at it.
Or they don't want to see that because, like Michael says, like holding the mirror up. Like, not saying this is how all white people act and this is how you all are, but this is a reality of how most white people.
But it's their brothers, their sisters, their cousins, their fathers, and so that's too much for people to handle.
They pull excuses for.
I really literally like, if I have a Black Horror t-shirt that has everybody on it from Black Horror except for Candyman. And I kind of, after I purchased the t-shirt, because it was made to create to support Black Lives Matter during the last summer when everything was happening with George Floyd and everything. But I tend to like, I would literally be on Instagram and somebody would have all the horror greats, and I would literally go past, you know, I would sit there and quickly share a post with like, you know, Freddy Krueger, Michael Myers, stuff like that. But if you have all of them on there, if I don't see Candyman, I would not like your shit, because Candyman needs to be recognized for what it was.
Yes.
And so I'm so worried about how this movie is going to perform. I'm worried along the lines of, I'm scared that people are going to try to shit on it. What do you say? Horror is nothing if it doesn't dig into what's real. Exactly. And I feel that we was talking about this in the clubhouse yesterday, when it was like they were saying like there's so much shit to mine from when it comes to horror. We constantly getting regurgitating the same shit. And now that Black horror has become a force to be reckoned with, there are so many people who are, they're not showing it like in like, if you go into comment sections, just that's where you would see some of the pushback on like Black horror. I've got to the point where I don't sit there. I play them motherfuckers dust. Candyman, you're right, Dark Wave Doug. Candyman is so underrated. I watched Candyman the other day to prepare for Grey Matters, for Grey's episode, and to this day, I am 38 years old. Candyman came out in 1992. It still haunts me. It still resonates, because you can always pick something out from that movie, and I can just see what Nia DaCosta and Jordan Peele has set for us come next week.
I'm ready.
This is Friday. This is what, 9 o'clock. This is it's 10 o'clock where you guys are at, and it's 9 o'clock where I'm at. I feel like next week during this time period, all of our lives will be changed by this damn movie. We're gonna have so many deep conversations, so many unpackings of this movie. And I hope that people like Ryan Murphy and everybody like sit there and take something from that movie and be like, okay, we need to step our pussies up when it comes to telling Black stories on the screen.
Sean said it's still terrifying to watch because it feels real and surreal at the same time. Yeah, and with this new Candyman, I just feel like it's going to be even better. A lot of people's going to be upset, and I love it. Can't wait to see the new Candyman movie. I'm excited for it. Everybody's excited for Candyman. Y'all better. Y'all better be excited for this shit. Because somebody got our Freddy's and Jason, and Michael Myers and Pinheads, but
somebody was mad at this shirt. They said this shirt showcased a white woman, but I said, look, if it puts more money towards the Candyman franchise for them to produce more Candyman merch, I am here for it. I want more Candyman merch.
They had an issue because it was a white woman on the t-shirt.
Yeah, they had an issue because it was a white woman on the t-shirt, and then it did not. But I'm like,
I'd rather that than him killing people in the project. That I never understood.
Right.
But
yeah, I didn't understand that either.
Like,
because why are we going down for?
Right. You didn't do shit to you.
Right.
But call your name. I need you to help us out.
Like Candyman, come get this Karen off our asses.
Just saying. I would call him so quick. All right, guys. But before it gets too late, how would you guys rate this episode?
Ryan, you go first.
Well, Chanise, since you're the guest.
Yeah, Chanise, ladies first. Shanice, you go first. Yeah.
Out of a 5.
You gave it a 5?
Out of a 5.
Oh, out of a 5?
Yeah.
I'm going to give it a, I don't know, y'all. I'm going to give it a 1.5.
Ooh.
Because, listen, in my head, it's so many different things from Murder House that they could have done. And, you know, like, Ryan, you did give me a different view of it. So, because before I was going to say this is my least favorite. You did give me a different view, but it's just so much that they could have done. And then I think that it threw me off with the whole rubber woman thing. Like, it just, they should have left it alone. They should have if they were going to let 1 and 2 be it, then they should have let that be it. They should not have revisited at all. So I was so excited for this because I thought I was going to see some more people. Like, it could have just been done so much better for me.
Yeah.
And I had high expectations, so maybe that's why.
Okay, 1.5. Michael.
Oh shit. I'll give it a 2. And that's after reconsideration. Ryan, thank you for that.
Yeah, Ryan, help us. Like,
right,
boost,
0.5.
Yeah, 0.5.
I think part of my issue is the time frame they spend. Like, again, this is another timing thing for me. Like, what was it, like maybe 10 minutes of the beginning of the video game? And then it goes into the real story. So I think I liked what was happening in the beginning. Yeah. So when they jumped to something else, I was like, what the so now I gotta get back into more characters again. And then but I do think they probably should have, like somebody else said, structured it differently episode wise. But I want the creators, as if they're gonna listen to me, to like take certain points from like Black Mirror, because they're able to over 40, 50 minutes really get you to care about characters, get you to really into the episode, and by the end of it, you just like, damn, what the fuck? Like, it's just that good. So I don't know writing it really what it is. I think they need to bring in different writers with different ideas and different ways to produce things.
Exactly.
I like that.
I would piggyback off of that and say that that's how you mine more stories, new content for horror. And you could easily be the yeah, she clearly did just press delete on it. But it's kind of like that meme with Bow Wow at the verses, and he just pressed the But to piggyback off what Michael said, yes, open up the writer's room, do better. But my rating for the episode would be after Ryan's breakdown of it. And I just want to put on record here that Ryan would sit there and see some shit, and he's a true writer. He's a true creator in the sense that he can sit there and see what a writer's trying to say, even if they kind of fucked it up a little bit. And he can sit there and make sense of chaos. Ryan, I love you for that. I just want everybody to know that I love you for that, because you can make sense out of chaos. You're like and if the never ending story was going on, you would be the never ending story savior, because when the chaos or what was called the nothing and stuff happened, you would come in and save all of Fantasia because you know how to correct shit. But I would give it a 3, and this is me just really being very generous, only because I hope they look at the mistakes they made with season 1 and expound upon them and just try to correct them. Take American Horror Stories and let it be your way to tell little mini stories that you guys always wanted to tell, but didn't think that you could do a whole entire season with. That's what I felt that the show was going to be. Was going to be a show where you had a story, an idea, and you didn't know how you could sit there and expand it to like 8 or 10 episodes.
Yeah.
Stick to that. Do one episode. A reason why I want the show to go on is because I love anthologies. I'm a big anthology person. I miss the shit like the Twilight Zone,
Yeah.
Tales from the Crypt and stuff like that. Just give us a one hit quitter, and just leave us be like, damn. That's why I love Black Mirror. I'm glad Michael brought up Black Mirror, because Black Mirror, you can't not binge Black Mirror. You get an episode of Black Mirror and you get that one episode, and you need about a goddamn week to sit there and just deal with what the fuck you just seen.
Yep.
So we need more shit like that. And American Horror Story, I don't want y'all to delve into the whole, because you have mainstream movies, you have like franchise and stuff like the Conjuring franchise, you have like Fast 9, all this shit. This is why indie horror is kicking mainstream horror's ass. Is because they're willing to take those risks to bring us new horror, new content. This is why shit like Hereditary and Midsommar, which I have not seen yet, has managed to like grasp the horror fan instead of like the newest version of the newest Conjuring movie, or the newest what's another horror movie that's coming out? Don't Breathe 2. I know some people kind of like that movie, but I just didn't. This man had people, he had a woman captured, and he was impregnating her with the turkey baster with his child. I can't see how I can sit there and like root for him and Don't Breathe 2.
Well, the thing is, in the first one, I actually like Don't Breathe 2, and it's not because I was rooting for him. I like Don't Breathe 2, but I wasn't rooting for him. I still wanted him to get his ass whooped. I was rooting for, but I don't want to. I'm not too sure if any of y'all seen it.
I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it.
Somebody with a turkey baster.
Well, he was trying to on the first one.
I watched that movie. Why did I miss
that? Was at the end.
Forget that part in the movie.
That was
traumatizing.
I guess I didn't see.
Yeah, that was disgusting.
Yeah.
But the second one
Very
I enjoyed,
disgusting.
but not for those reasons. Like a lot of people's like, oh, well, they try to make you feel sympathetic for this character, and I don't necessarily think that. I think that movie just trying to show you, like, all right, this dude is still fucked up. I mean, he's doing his thing to try to maybe save this little girl, even though he shouldn't have had her. But there's more fucked up people in the world too. You know what I mean? So they both got to go. They both got to go. And I feel like the movie did a good job, in my opinion, of showing that neither one of them are good. Neither one of them, like, you're like, I feel I get it. Like, most people is going back and forth, like, all right, vote for this bad guy. No. He was trying to impregnate her with the turkey baster. So no, you need to say this. It was just a lot going on.
Yeah.
So I felt like it was a good balance of, you still didn't give a fuck about either of these characters, so I don't care what happened. That's just how I took it. But I see what the director was trying to do, and I think he was trying to get people talking with this blind guy trying to be heroic. And I get it. But in my opinion, I still wasn't rooting for him.
So he's like the anti-hero of this movie.
Yeah, if you want to put it that way. But yeah, so when something finally happens to him, let me shut up because I don't want to give it away. I get diarrhea of the going, so I'm trying my best not to say anything.
I want to hear Ryan's rating.
I want to hear his rating too.
I know he's probably going to say a 4.5, 4.
Well,
yeah, you're right. Like a 4.5.
Yeah.
I don't blame you. I mean, hey.
So, what was your favorite episode out of all 7?
Drive-In. I'm gonna just throw it out there right now. Drive-In.
That's mine too.
Yeah, Drive-In is my shit.
About the Johnsons.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead, Ryan. Sorry.
Like the reason I give it a 4.5 is, or why it's my favorite episode of like the season so far, is I felt like it was the first episode that had a lot to say. Like the other ones were like very entertaining, and I like fuck with them. So I'm not, not all of them. Let's be clear. The ones that we've talked about, like Drive-In, for example, I like it, but this one was very it was the first episode that after it went off, I was actually stuck for a minute. Like I was really stuck for like 30 seconds as my brain was like rifling through all the details. And I just smiled and I just started clapping because it was just I hadn't felt like that level of intrigue watching horror, I think, in a very long time. Because like the way my brain works when I watch horror, it's operating on like I like to have a good time. So don't be like, I don't want to make it seem like, oh, if it's not doing this, then it's not doing its job. I don't want to say that. But like it's rare for me that after I watch something that's horror related that I'm stuck for a second having to process everything. And sometimes the filmmakers, when they do this, it drops it for me. It doesn't. It's like they're trying too hard to be edgy, or they're fighting too hard to make a statement, so it feels like dumb. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But this was insightful. I thought it was brilliant commentary. I thought it was a great way to end the season, and it's something I couldn't have thought of, which I think I also appreciate. I like that this is the only way I can see them ending the season, like period. And I wouldn't have thought of that. And that's really brilliant. Like that's really something else. And it felt fresh in that because I don't think he creates commentary like this frequently. It feels like someone said it earlier, and I want to give y'all props. It feels like he was trying to do what he did with Roanoke. Like I feel that. I don't remember who said that, but I felt similar with Roanoke, like this swathing around the storyline to convey a message, which is really dope. Like a show inside of a show, or like Bruce says, a game inside of a game. Yeah, see, y'all watching All Stars, okay. But
listen, we're not going to get into that, Ryan. I got to talk to y'all after we get through with this. After this is over with.
That's true. That's true. You're right. You're absolutely right, Ryan. Michael, did we get yours already? No.
Yeah.
Oh, we got Michael.
He did it too.
Oh yeah, that's right. You did do so. Yeah. Sorry. I guess that's the
Yeah.
Why you look at me like that? I give it like a 2.5. I give it a 2.5. I'm not gonna lie, like I was entertained by some parts of the episode. I did enjoy it, like a lot of aspects, like the video games part. I did enjoy the first part of the video game part. I did enjoy a lot. But how it ended, it just for me, and again, Ryan, thank you for the how your thoughts were on the episode, because it did help me out a little bit, because this episode would have got it too. But I just feel like, I don't know. For me, I really hope that the murder house really just burned down. In my opinion, in my head, I wanted it to be the end. I just wanted it to be done. Like I was tired of it. I'm like, all right, I'm curious. I was even rooting for the little boy when he was putting gasoline. I was just like, yeah,
turn this shit down. Like, yes.
I was like, burn it down. Like let it go. But then all of a sudden, I'm just like, child, I'm done.
This is not.
Y'all knew that was coming.
I'm still holding on to that 13 ghost thing, because I really thought that would have been so good if they just burnt it up and all
the ghost
just kind of left. Like, let's move on.
Yeah.
And can I add? I just hate how they keep adding all these new ghosts when it's like 20,000 ghosts already in the house.
Right.
Like, why do y'all keep seeing these new people?
That's what Paris.
You heard her say, like,
it's too crowded already. Like, too crowded already. Like, you motherfuckers, they was already over it. When she sat there saying, I hope to go out here and find some fresh dick, because I'm tired of going through some decade-old dick. I was like, girl, what you said? I'd be like, yo, this is getting old quick. I'd have fucked everybody in this house.
Yeah, about to say, who you fucking in here? First of all, like,
probably the doctor.
Wait, who said that?
Ben probably tied.
Michael Jackson's daughter.
Thinking everybody.
Right. Ben was wearing them out in there.
The only young is Ben. It's the young guy.
In there, right?
Dang.
Well, you know, there's the guy who was bisexual, the guy who was trying to help the parent, the two male dads last
oh, like the
yeah.
contractor.
him. Then there is
The Constance young boo thing.
They moved him out of the
Oh yeah,
house.
that's right. They did move him.
Let me say something. Let me say something real quick. The only man in there I would have messed with was well, I don't remember if he died in the house. The contractor, because he was the only man of color.
he died in there. He died in there. Yeah,
the only man of color in the house. Like, I need a little
man of color.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I thought you were talking about.
He was.
I thought you.
They could have added some. They could have added some melanin to the cast.
Right.
You know what? When Mary Dudley
going in there.
Bring Morris Chestnut back. Morris Chestnut was in the first.
Oh my God, yes.
But he didn't die though. He didn't die in the house though. I was like, that's
he didn't, but he could have came back and died in the house.
I thought that was who
stuck with him.
Hello.
When the black guy, when the car pulled up at the beginning of the episode and you saw a black guy driving, I said, I pray to God that's not more shit enough to go ahead and get his ass slaughtered. But you know, it was somebody else who was like, yo, y'all go in there, here's y'all shit, bye.
Mark, let me tell you something now. If Morris Chestnut came up in the house and I was Paris one, I would have slashed him. He not leaving.
Right there. As soon as the door opened, oh.
But that's like, they could have even had him come back. Like, even if it wasn't like a major character, they didn't have nobody.
Yeah.
Right.
But, you know, Ben, all right.
Adelaide.
So with the nurse lady, don't you? Because I feel like she every time they go to my house, that same nurse is walking around.
Poor nurse, man.
Is she the only one available?
Right. Where's the other nurse?
Where's the other nurse?
Yeah.
And then she keep getting killed every time.
And then she leaves and goes out during Halloween. I'm like, girl, I hope you're not showing up at your mom and dad's house looking like that, because can you come?
Happy when it was burning down. Y'all seen that sign relief?
Yeah.
Yes. About that. So Scarlett's her name, right? She would come once on Halloween, and they would hang. I'm like, why wouldn't she go in the house? Why is it just Halloween? She's just trying to hang out with her in the house.
Probably because she's scared that Paris's friends are gonna start to try to kill her. Which I am so glad that they sat there and tackled Ruby's ass in this episode.
Yes,
I was like,
so happy.
Yes. Why didn't y'all do that in the beginning?
Yes.
Right, like y'all could have fucked Ruby's ass up.
Yeah, y'all make her seem like she's just like invincible bitch or whatever. No, it's a bunch of y'all. Whoop her ass. Ruby's ass would have stayed whooped every time she came up. Bitch, I ain't done with you. I have a lot of energy today. I'm finna fuck your ass up because if it wasn't for you, we would not be here. I'm serious. Ruby ass would have been like, she would have been Richard Ramirez in 1984. You know, every time he was revived, they sat there was kill his ass again.
Yes.
Every time Ruby ass got up, shank, 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 shank. Anyway, as I was saying, so I was with someone so last week, right? You know,
right?
Just do it this time. You walk past her in the hallway, just let her throat real quick.
Yeah. But I ain't gonna hold y'all. Evan Peters is my boo.
Hey, just sit there telling her, I don't like that bitch. As you walk past her, like, I don't like that bitch. Right.
So what you guys think? All right, so Hotel came on right after the episode, so we're looking at it now. But Hotel got the same concept as Murder House. You die in there, you're a ghost in there. So like maybe they could have did an episode on that instead of keep going back to Murder House.
Right,
maybe,
they could have did Hotel instead. That's in LA.
Yeah.
That's in LA.
Thank you. I'm like, Hotel doesn't get a lot of love. And again, this goes back to Ryan Murphy listening to the fans, because most of the fans be like, oh, Hotel was just horrible. Even though Gaga was in it, was just horrible. But I'm like, no, Hotel. I believe so too. I'm so glad y'all say that. I'm so glad when I found out that Bobby was a fan of Hotel. I have a Hotel poster in my living room.
I love Hotel.
I told Hotel, because I'm a big 80s fan, and it gave me that 80s aesthetic to it. You know what I'm saying? The music, the soundtrack, the fashions, the looks, you know, it was so 80s. I felt like Hotel was a love letter to the 80s of 80s horror. So
I think it was a good season. Like, I understand they were doing a lot. Like, you got vampires, and then you got ghosts, and then you got.
No, I thought that was so good. Like, I thought the vampires was a breath of fresh air.
Well, definitely.
Like
I loved it.
That they had not touched on.
But a lot of people say that Hotel had a lot going on, but the 80s had a lot. When it comes to 80s horror, there was so much to pull from in 80s horror. vampires, serial killers, supernatural monsters. You had so much to pull from, and that's why I felt like it was a love letter to the 80s horror, because 80s horror was just a lot of horror shit we would be sitting here right now, in my personal opinion, if it wasn't for a lot of horror that came out in the 80s. So I feel like 80s horror should be respected, and I felt like Hotel did that to a certain degree.
Definitely. And just overall, like I feel like the stories were great. Just, I mean, I could have done without the cop, being like the 10th Commandment killer or whatever he was.
Really, I like that
because it was cool, but I figured it out way too early. Like I knew it was something that didn't bother me.
See, I didn't figure it out soon, but I like it because, like I keep telling him, it gave me that like secret window feel.
Yeah.
And I really like that was one of my favorite. I know a lot of people didn't like that. I don't know why, but that was really one of my favorite movies, and that's how it gave me. Like like. I was confused with him. Like, damn, who killed him?
I knew it was him. I knew something was up. I knew they were messing with his hair. I just didn't know how, but I knew it was him because it was just leaning to it. Like, it was just, I don't know.
See, I figured they were messing with him, but I didn't think that he was the killer.
He was the killer.
I liked it. Actually like that part.
Yeah.
I was with you, Bobby. I felt like he was the killer. I couldn't put it together, but he was so suspicious.
He was too into the damn case. He was too far gone in the case. And I was like, oh, you're so far gone to the point where it's past you just wanting to solve the case. Your ass trying to make sure nobody's trying to track your ass. And you're the actual killer. True. And then the whole hotel having his son. It just, to me, I feel like they're connected. Right. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And so not only does the hotel have your son, but you're this serial killer and you're just trying to I don't know, try to feel, because after your son was snatched by the elegant Countess Gaga, I'm sorry, outside of Constance Langdon, the Countess was the baddest bitch of all of America.
Let me say something about that.
Outside of her,
Angela.
Well, Angela, I mean,
Marie Laveau.
I didn't like her character inside the hotel though.
Oh no, Ramona Royale, yeah, she was a little problematic.
As Marie Laveau, like I really liked her there.
Yeah.
I could have did without her in hotel.
Chanise, I would say Constance, Marie Laveau, and then Countess. They're my three right there. I don't think nobody has come close to being them.
Lady Gaga really did a good job.
And that's crazy because Sarah Paulson been in all these fucking seasons and nobody names her. She been working.
Her ass been crying the whole.
I would give her flowers when she sat there and said that line that all gays sit there repeat nowadays. How does she say I am the fucking supreme in Apocalypse? She solidified herself as a queen.
I did get my life on that part.
So she did do a good job in there.
Yeah. Apocalypse.
I love me a boss bitch.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. I do. I really do. But she did a good job as the supreme.
Yeah.
But I don't know, because I didn't like her Freak Show really. That didn't get Freak Show didn't give nothing.
Thank you. Once, like again, Chanise, once Twisty left, it was just like this is appointment television at this point. And when they killed our Patti LaBelle, I said, y'all sat there advertised Patti LaBelle.
Was in there.
Yo, Patti was giving all types of like she was a mood. She arguing with that little white boy. Yeah, Dandy. She was arguing with her. You gonna do it? Cut me. Patti, no. Stop.
I just wanted to say one thing about Gaga before we moved away from her. Yeah. I was set up to be disappointed for it. So she exceeded my expectations because I've been a little monster for so long that I just was like, I don't know. Like, she's probably going to come into this. She's not going to do it right. Like, it's just going to be a whole thing.
Yeah, I thought
I got to go into it, like, with like an honest conscience. And she delivered. Like, for me, Mark, like, she's up there too. So, like, Countess, Sister Superior, just... Yeah.
Right.
But you know what? Sister Superior was upstaged in that season a little bit, but I can't remember her name. The nurse, I'm not the nurse, sorry, the nun that was under her, they got possessed.
Was it Mary Alice?
Oh, Eunice.
Yes.
Yeah, Mary Eunice. Yes.
I liked her. I liked her only after she got possessed, though.
Yeah. Right. It was that scene when she walked up on the dude and she had them black eyes. I was like, this bitch is giving it. She is giving it.
Yes.
Y'all
There
have
was
all
an
that.
old girl's character in there who was fighting against Bloodyface. Like even her character kind of upstaged. That was a strong like
Lana,
Wait, which one?
Lana.
Yeah.
Lana Banana. Yes.
Lana Banana.
Lana Banana, yeah.
Yeah.
It was
Lana Banana.
It was so nuts.
it was something you mentioned, Ryan, that I wanted to piggyback off of. I forget
Gaga. I will say with Gaga for me,
what
I
it
felt
was,
the
though,
same
but
way,
oh,
Ryan.
with Gaga.
Yeah, like I'm a little monster as well, and I love her.
Mhm,
And
me
I
too.
was excited, like Mark, we talked about this with the revealing and stuff like that. But I was kind of like Ryan, like, all right, I love her. I'm happy that she's going to be a part of this show and this series. But my expectations wasn't that high for her, just because I'm like, it's Gaga. I haven't really seen her act. I think she just dared to just give everybody their lives. But child, when
She did a good
She
job.
snatched.
she won what, a
snatched.
Golden Globe?
That's what I'm about to say, Bobby. She won a Golden Globe for that. When she stood up and she sat there, was like, I can't believe I won this. It was like, right, she called Ryan Murphy herself. It's like, yo, I want in on American Horror Story. That's how bad of a bitch you could be. When she sat there and called Ryan Murphy, it's like, yo, I heard this Jessica Lange is out. I want to take her place next season.
Yeah.
I want
She
in.
did good.
I can't see
That's
Jessica
probably
Lange
the
as
only
Countess.
episode that I
Mm-mm.
didn't miss her.
Yeah.
I didn't miss her on that this season. That
Yeah,
season,
because we
at
were
all.
worried. We was just like, damn, Jessica Lange, but Gaga's here, so maybe she can fill.
Yeah.
But I really wasn't thinking about Jessica Lange and Hotel.
I swear.
I was just like,
At all.
And I don't want to be funny when I say this though, but I felt like Jessica Lange, when she was missed though, but I would tell y'all, Dennis O'Hare gave me life as Liz Taylor.
Yeah,
I was like,
I love Liz Taylor.
I wasn't expecting this you from Dennis. I was not expecting this from you, Dennis.
I got possessed.
Liz Taylor was just like when in the first episode when they took what's his name down the hallway to the room was 216 and the Kafkan was just flowing, and I'm like, you better whoever the cameraman was, and then they sat there and did this shit.
And he knew it. He was looking back and everything.
Yeah, it was just like, you better give it. You better give it. And so Liz Taylor became, to me, American Horror Story Hotel was all about Liz Taylor and the Countess. Everybody else was just sidelined.
Yeah.
Mr. March, I don't care. Everybody give him his props. Evan Peters did that role.
Is my husband.
He did.
I think, to be honest, I think that is his best character
That
so
was,
far in
yeah,
American
to
Horror
me,
Story,
that was one of his best characters.
Yeah.
I really liked him as
because he was scary as Tate, and he didn't have much really to do in Asylum and definitely Coven. Freak Show.
I hate him. Probably was the only, like, first of all, why are you his services that he was performing for these ladies?
Oh yeah, with his like
that was so disgusting.
Oh right.
I
thought that was kind of weird too. And he had a whole line of women coming in. They had like appointments. This was like a Tupperware party type situation.
Yeah.
Like,
does anybody remember Gaga and Roll No?
We don't. I'm about to say they flashed her though.
Yeah.
They
did what, Ryan?
They could have tied that into
Yeah, that's what we
Coven.
thought. We thought that for me, I thought in Apocalypse that they were going to somehow tie in
the first with Gaga.
the first,
they could have
because she was the first Supreme.
her or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sasquatch. Well, no, not Sasquatch. Her name was Saskatchewan, something like that. Not Sasquatch, but it was some kind of crazy name I couldn't pronounce.
That's a weird name, but if you look at it real quick, it does look like it's a Sasquatch.
And that meme they came out with the head of Gaga as the Countess and as that character, it was like, get you somebody that can do both. I was like, I felt all of that because Gaga was like, yo, I'm only here for a quick second. I'm gonna give y'all what y'all want. And she still got paid for that one little
I wish
flash.
they had brought her back. They could have brought her back.
Yeah.
They could have did a little something. They could have even did a little episode. We could have had a little story on that.
I don't think Gaga is too above, like, because once people get the American what's it called, Academy Award nominee type thing, but did she win an Oscar for A Star Is Born? Did she win an Oscar for the soundtrack of that?
Yeah.
I mean, she could. I think Gaga's above all of that. But once I hit this Academy Award winning status, I cannot come back and do another TV show.
No, bring your ass back.
Bring your ass back.
Damn, what's that lady name for the Star Is A Star Is Born? The one who did the original.
Barbra Streisand.
Barbra Streisand.
Did you see her saying that Will Smith and Beyonce was supposed to play them parts? that.
Michael and Ryan face.
Listen,
I do remember them saying that.
he was like, I really did like it, but so I got her point. She was saying that I thought the remake would have some diversity. So I got that, but Beyonce and Will Smith would not have been the perfect match for that at all.
It would be
Unless they did like a whole like,
Campbell instead of Beyonce.
I was thinking like, nah.
Did you say Tisha Campbell?
Yes, that
all
was.
right, bye.
Oh my god!
Bye, everybody.
Hold up, you ready, Michael? You ready? It's the journey.
You pop like her. Have you seen her video?
Which one?
I'm still here.
Chanise, I got you. Let me hold up.
I can't take her serious, okay?
I wish I had a picture of it. I'll show you.
Y'all keep going. I got you, girl.
Mark,
Y'all can't picture her belting out that song.
He said, I'm checking out.
Mark,
huh?
y'all can't picture her belting out that song.
No.
I can't listen. I would have immediately. This is over.
Done.
You can't take it after that.
No, no.
Oh Lord, it is the journey.
Okay.
I'm just mad.
I just want to see her in something. All right, something.
Horror. Well, wait, I think Ryan. Hold on.
I sent a silent one. I didn't because I sent a silent one. I was classy with it.
Oh, y'all stop. Cause she always do. That's the part that gave me when she was like.
She's a performer.
Are we still on Tisha Campbell?
Yeah.
You know what, Michael? If Tisha Campbell had been in A Star Is Born, this shit would have been the $5 movie bean. I swear to God, it would have.
That when it came out.
It would have been a direct DVD.
Right.
A Netflix original.
It would have been
Like,
it would have been in the top 10 of the Netflix originals.
That would be all you, Michael. You made it. You put it there by watching it.
Because by watching it that many times, like it be in the background playing as you do everything. Like I made y'all Tisha, so you need to give me them credits. But child,
yeah. Well, all right, guys. In the order before we go, it's going on 2 hours. Before we go, in the order, how would you rank these episodes?
I got you. I got to pull up the list of look.
Hold up.
I'll go first.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'll go number 1, drive-in. Number 2, ball. How do you pronounce it?
Ball.
It was 7 episodes, right?
Yeah.
Ball. Okay, so 1 is drive-in, 2 is ball, 3 would be I guess Pharaoh. 4 would be. I'm gonna go ahead and give it to the what was the naughty list?
Oh yeah.
And then all the Murder House episodes are like 5, 6, and 7. In no order. It's kind of like what somebody said earlier in the comments, like the Murder House is like they all rank at the bottom of the line. They all at the bottom. That's why I'm not here. But drive-in is always going to be that one, that one, because that could have been a full ass movie.
I'm trying to remember. Pharaoh
was the one in the woods. With those monsters like
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Michael.
Yeah, Michael, you go.
All right. So the first one I got is drive-in. Because that to me is the one I would most want to see more of.
Yeah.
Next is Feral.
Ooh.
Then Ball. The Rosemary Baby one.
The Rosemary Baby one.
I don't even want to put Naughty List on here, but Naughty List. The first 2 Murder House episodes are interchangeable for me, and this one is actually the last one, this most recent one. Only because I wasn't able to follow it that much.
Okay.
Ryan.
I think I'm ready. I think. Okay. So y'all already know Game Over is my favorite. So that's one for me. 2 might be Drive-In. I know I said something different last week, but Drive-In definitely comes in. Then I like Naughty List for my third favorite. And then for my fourth favorite, damn, this is hard. Rubber Woman Part 1. And then I like after that one, Feral. And then after Feral, I like. This is hard, you guys. Wait, it's only one left, right? Yeah, there's only one left. And then Part 2 is my least favorite episode. Yeah, of the first two, Rubber Woman Part 2.
Okay.
I guess I'll go. So Drive-In was my favorite, but I'm basically taking Mark's whole list, except for the Santa Claus one.
So Drive-In.
Yeah, so Drive-In, Ball, Pharaoh. Dang, y'all. Because the other ones were just all
over the place.
Like there. But I really dislike that Rubber Woman. So maybe I should give Game Over like a different rating, because I would pick Game Over the Rubber Woman. Like if we had to kick one out, that would be that. And that Naughty List one can go at the end. I don't even count that.
I remember, Chanise, you did not care for Naughty List. Right. I remember you drugged the fuck out of it.
Because and it probably, like, I don't want to say hit home with me, but I really felt bad. Like, I was disgusted when they were filming that man killing himself. Right. Like I was really like, you know what, I'm trying to, like, I was mad. Yeah. Like, I was one of the viewers and this was real life. Like, it just got on my nerves so bad because I cannot stand those type of people at all, like in real life. So that really put a bad taste in my mouth with that one. Yeah. So I guess that would be all the way at the end. Yeah. So we would have Drive-In, Ball, Pharaoh, Game Over, Rubber Woman, and then Naughty List.
Okay. I guess I'll go. Drive-In, Ball, Pharaoh, pretty much. Yeah, pretty much the same list as Chanise. Pretty much. Naughty List is at the. Well, no, Naughty List is actually. I actually going to put Naughty List before Rubber Woman. So Rubber Woman is definitely like last.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So.
I don't know, y'all. Them guys got my nerves.
They got on my nerves too. But if I was to rewatch all of this again, I probably would watch Naughty List for some reason over.
Bro House.
No.
No.
Because I just see kids, like, when I see kids do dumb stuff like that, that's just what it reminds me of. Like, these cannot be 30-year-old men.
Right.
Like, it's just that bothered me so much.
But Chanise, that's the problem. There are 30-year-old men out there doing shit.
Yes, like unfortunately, there are.
That's scary. That's scary to me because I'm like, y'all really out here doing this?
Watching them,
right?
Yes.
I have my sister showed me a picture of this guy who had some grills in his mouth. I'm like, we still doing grills in 2021?
No.
I can't lie. You know, we'll talk later, but go ahead.
Well, y'all, there goes our ratings. I guess this would be the last one because no more American Horror Stories. But we'll definitely do this for the second season. Definitely.
I want for the second season. I'm hoping to see some kind of like throw some native history in here or something else, not just current shit.
Yeah.
Well,
I like that.
But I want to see some settlers and colonizers get fucked up. That's what I want to see.
Yes,
that would be dope.
They can do so much. I hope. Listen, we send them this.
Right.
They can do so much.
Exactly. I was telling Bobby, like, tweet this. When you tweet this again, put at Ryan Murphy or Mr. Ryan Murphy.
Y'all retweeted with his name, so it just can't be. We gotta y'all retweet with him. Brad Falchuk, that's his boo.
I will be in his DMs. Slide in his DMs. He's like, who is this girl?
Right.
Who is she?
I'm trying to help your
watch
soul.
this power video.
Yes, like bring me.
I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to help you. Like I was saying, like all of us could be in the damn writer's room on the side. They bring up idea of like
kill the kid. That'll be me. Or get rid of him.
Fuck him.
You like my best friend.
Was working my nerve in this episode. I'm like, who you cursing at? And she just sitting here taking.
Oh yeah, he was dragging her.
I was rewatching it, and they was like on the street or whatever.
Right.
And I was like, she need a belt.
Right.
I don't care I'm a ghost or not. This ain't about to. You ain't about to talk to me like this.
It's Halloween, bitch. I give you a gas open. I can touch you today.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
Right. We ain't murder house, so yes, won't be coming back.
Yes.
And then when you go back to your daddy, be like, "Who beat you up, son? Mom did." And then he be like,
and when she's like, "You know what?" She's like, "You tell your father, come see me."
Yes.
Right. I got stuff for his ass too.
Right.
I had to tell my daughter today. Some this will get passes. Don't play with me.
Okay.
Oh, good night, Katie.
Bye, Katie. Thanks for always popping up. Sean said
she need a belt.
Yes.
Because he was just sitting there just dropping F-bomb after F-bomb. The first F-bomb would have been a complete F-bomb. My mom would have slapped me clean across the damn street.
Let me tell you.
Right.
Supernatural force and all.
They in the old days, these 2020s, 2021 kids is different.
What is it, Generation Z or something?
Because let me would have even had said an F to my mom. I ain't even had to say the whole thing.
Right.
And they're gonna be cursing her out as she's a ghost.
Right.
That's OD.
Disrespectful.
You'll be dragged up and down the street. I will kick your ass right off that bike. Keep playing.
Yeah.
And did you not realize
he was hurt?
And one last,
I get it, but like, come on. I don't know.
And one last thing, y'all. The girl whose brother was in the Rubber Woman episode, he came back and sat there and saw her. If I'd have been their brother and saw the dude walking down the street with the gasoline cans, I'd be like, "You finna burn down murder house?" Yeah. Let's do it. Let's go. Let's do it.
Yes.
Let's go.
But nobody seen nobody seen this little kid just walking down the street with all this gasoline.
In LA,
that's part of the costume.
In an expensive ass LA neighborhood.
Exactly.
Mind you. Because
believe melanin.
Exactly. If you had enough melanin, they'd be like, somebody's walking down the street with gasoline.
Right.
Something suspicious.
He wasn't even worried either. He just burning the shit.
Yes.
Out in the open.
Like it could have at least been a crowd out there. They should have made a scene.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
True that. He rolled up and brought daylight with everyone.
Yes. Like, wait, what?
And I believe there was enough people in their house that Ruby would have to sit there and just deal with Paris Jackson and her friends. It'd been a whole gang of people. Ruby, you ain't going no damn where. We gonna sit there holding on to your ass this entire time. Burn that shit down. And then somebody could have been in the house and sat there and had a whole damn flag come out the house. I was supposed to burn it down.
I was so happy when they got hired.
What do you think about Scarlett being like, "Nah, fuck you, I'm not burning up going in this house, and I'm gonna just walk away"?
Wait, Scarlett didn't fight hard enough.
Right, she did.
The way they make they love, she did not fight hard enough. She really had the little boy like,
stop.
I thought she was gonna kill him before he burned it.
I thought she was gonna stab his ass too.
Right, me too.
Yeah, with her being that, was she a hitman? And
yeah,
all this
right.
Stuff. But she could have smacked the thing out his hand. Like she could have did anything. Like, I don't know. She could have even blew it out. She had his hand.
Right.
She ain't
was proud of her immortal ass.
I said, Scarlett. If I'd have been Ruby, I said, "Okay, bitch, I see how you are. Okay. Fine, okay.
She didn't bring it up when she was with her in the condominiums or whatever they were, apartments.
Yeah.
And
I
we just
honestly
back in
could
love
live without
again.
them.
Yeah.
And that's
Me
what
too.
also confused me. I was like, so is it the land that is the problem, or is it the house?
But she
Yeah.
said that everybody else left, but she stayed behind because she didn't want to leave because she knew that Scarlett would come back to her. Ain't no way in hell I would sit there and let because like she said, you're gonna get old and wrinkled. Like I'm gonna get old and wrinkled one day, and I'm like, there's a whole afterlife after me. You know, it's like I don't want to have anything else to do with this mortal plane. You know what I'm saying? Like, let me go ahead and cross over. I've done everything I'm supposed to do here. Let me go ahead and cross over. Let me.
Well, she loves
live in
Scarlett.
peace.
She didn't want to leave her.
I didn't like how Scarlett didn't care about her dads at all because in the beginning, of the whole Rebel Woman thing, she seemed like she had like a close relationship with them, and she was just mad because they were kind of like, you know, you watching this. Whatever, and that was their only issue. So why is she making it seem like she had like a big issue with them to the point where she didn't even care that they died?
Yeah, that was my
like,
biggest one of my biggest issues with Rubber Woman 2. The second part is because when they died, it's just like it seemed like she was just so nonchalant about everything.
Like, oh, okay,
like,
they
so,
did. I'm gonna head out.
Yeah, I'm gonna
SpongeBob. I'm gonna head out.
Yeah.
I think she already was kind of off. Because what I was wondering about the rubber suit or rubber man suit shit was if it attracts people who already have like demented tendencies or want or desires to do crazy shit.
Yeah,
and she just don't give a fuck because she's just not capable of having like I don't know sympathy or empathy at all. Maybe.
Yeah.
The blood curse. Sean, you mean from Roanoke?
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
they could have did something. Let me stop because I'm getting annoyed because they could have did something.
They could have.
There was so much potential. Like you can do a lot going off of Roanoke, to be honest. Like the story behind that.
I'm gonna send Ryan Murphy a whole list like the SpongeBob thing when he just dropped that list and that list kept going.
Rolling.
This is what you need to do for season 2.
Yeah,
and this is just
so much he can do.
Well, cross fingers that we'll get something for season 2, something better, and maybe people will watch this. Maybe Ryan Murphy and his team is going to see this. Sean, I know you got connects, so I'm just. And they mentioned it at Camp Redwood.
They did.
Also,
they did.
We could have went back to Camp Redwood.
I would have loved to see Montana and my other boo.
Fun with that.
What's his name? What was his name? Ray, the Deron Horton. I would have loved to see Ray again. I mean, yeah. I love Mr. Deron Horton.
All right, guys. I'm happy that we covered this. This was a lot of fun. We gotta do this again.
I know. I'm happy I got to come on with you guys.
Yeah.
Me too.
I'm so glad you showed up. Yeah.
She demanded.
I told y'all my comments was coming in too late. I was like, I gotta come on here.
Yeah. But this was a lot of fun. Thanks everybody in the chat for entertaining our craziness and chatting about this crazy ass season of American Horror Stories. And I don't know, maybe we'll do something dope for American Horror Story double feature. I don't know. We're still planning on doing something, but I don't know. That's next week. We'll figure it out.
That is next.
I can't believe it's next week.
Lord.
It just seems like
it's not a Thursday, is it?
It's a Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, because everything falls on Thursday. It's like I can't keep up. So much shit.
I can't.
Mark, I still got this book. I did not finish reading this book yet.
You need to.
The Final Girl Support Group.
I actually think I'm gonna go ahead and do the episode after we get done here. I don't know yet because I have the urge to watch. I have the urge to play Dead by Daylight.
Can we?
I'll need to finish it though.
Can we play?
We can play.
All right.
Ryan, you want to perk up real quick.
Y'all gonna have me go broke trying to make this woman look like a priestess.
I'm getting my purse together. Hold up.
What's stupid? Who are you talking about, Michael?
My character I bought that has like the frizzy fro?
I bought her
she has
too
the
because
big
she was
ears.
fresh. I bought her too. I was like, Michael's not finna stand me up in this damn situation. I'm finna buy this damn character. I sat there bought her.
First of all, you can make Issa Rae look fresh. You don't gotta steal my character.
It's only so much you
Hold
can do
on.
with that
You
character.
look like Issa. Hold on. Was you there when I
It
put
is
up?
Issa.
I'm gonna find it. Do you think this look like Issa Rae?
Now y'all is not gonna play my bestie like that because Issa Rae is my best friend. Okay.
Like it's not her normal look, but it's her look when she's like staring at somebody in a scene. Like, bitch, what the fuck are you talking about?
Y'all play. All right. Thanks again, guys, for doing this. I really appreciate y'all taking the time out and doing this with me every week. We've been doing this for 6 weeks. This was a lot of fun, and we'll do this again soon. Yeah,
Bobby. Thank you.
Of course.
Yeah, thank
Everybody,
you for inviting me.
come on, give it up for Bobby.
Yes.
Yeah, Bobby. Yeah.
Thanks, y'all. So again, thanks everybody in the stream. Really appreciate y'all. Before we go, where can everybody find y'all real quick?
Twitter, you can find me at on Twitter at the Anti-Critic, on Instagram Marco Estes and Midnight Social Distortion, and on Clubhouse MS Distortion and UV Horror Society, which all of us are part of.
Wait, Chanise, you gotta come to UV and hang out with us. You gotta get her head up.
Yeah, on Clubhouse, we like do watch parties and stuff on there. You
What
just
is
listen in. You
movie
don't have. You
again?
can talk while we watch the movie. It's like watching together, but on Clubhouse. And it's just audio.
Well, tell me.
I'll send it to
Show
you.
me.
We got you.
Are you on Clubhouse?
No.
Okay.
No, I do have that. I was in there. I was in Clubhouse before. I know what it is. I know what it is.
Okay.
All right, I'll go next. So you can find me at Brother Ghoulish on all social media. You can listen to Brother Ghoulish's Tomb wherever podcasts are played, and you can find me haunting an underpass near you if you want to meet me in person. So
I love hearing that.
I've drove past a couple of underpasses recently, and I've seen shit up under there. So he has a portal where he jumps between each one.
It happens. So
you can find me on Twitter at ThacaryBinks86. I talk about horror shit randomly, geek shit. This week or this season on Big Brother, I'm trolling all the anti-Black people, and that's where you can find me.
Yes.
Oh, well, I don't have anywhere that you can find me on YouTube, but you can follow me on social media as True Star with no E, _, and I have a dance fitness page, CNK Dance Fitness. If you are in the tri-state area and you want to get fit and lit, then hit your girl up.
CNK Dance Fitness. I've been to a couple of the dance fitness. What is it?
Classes.
I can't think today. Brain made a mush. Classes, and it's a lot of fun. So, Ryan, if you happen to be in Philly when the class is going on, we can get our groove on.
I'm not gonna let y'all see how. Hold up. I'm not gonna let y'all see how out of shape I am. Okay. From up here, I look slayed. From down beneath, these are angles, baby. I literally look like a grape with toothpicks in it.
All right.
I don't know. I think that's a lot of us at this point because I thought it was coming out of COVID and quarantine lit, but it ain't happening.
Chanise and Michael weren't there, but I definitely flashed Michael and I'm not Mike, Bobby and Mark my little love handles the other day. So
they were lovely. It's okay.
They
were lovely.
Yeah.
If y'all want to see my love handles after the stream, I got y'all.
All right. Well, thanks again, guys. I really appreciate y'all. Thanks again, everybody, for watching. And we'll post something. Check out my YouTube and stay tuned for American Horror Story double feature. If we want to do a live stream or just movie, not movie, but the show review. Stay tuned. We're still figuring that out. So thanks again, everybody, and have a good night.
Bye.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.